just waiting for retail sales data to come through here on a month-over-month basis. 0.2% to the upside, it looks like. A little bit of a beat, well, depending on where you look at it. Some forecasting a downside print. This site forecasting 0.5 to the upside, so it comes in a little bit light according to this one. February retail sales month-over-month, again, 0.2%. That's really it as far as what we're expecting this morning. Remember, the big day this week is going to be Wednesday. We'll hear from Fed Chair Powell coming up Wednesday afternoon with the latest decision on interest rates. That's how the market's setting up right now after a nice positive rally back on Friday, going into the weekend on a positive note. That being said, if you zoom out a little bit further, definitely not a positive week, however. So it's going to be interesting to see how, or if, I guess I should say, if we can hold some of these levels that were put in last week. Again, ahead of the Fed. Still, they're looking at June. Maybe June as the first rate cut to come through. So his comments coming up on Wednesday going to be very, very interesting. I mean, so much to talk about on the tariff side of things still. A lot unknown. Trump doubling down on that April 2nd deadline, saying no exceptions this time.
And that's a perfect segue because we had GDP revisions as a result of these tariffs. So it's going to be the first time the Fed's chiming in since we've had these revisions. So you want to see perhaps maybe they're a little bit more dovish this time around, Brendo. They forecast maybe some closer rate cuts. So lots to talk about today. Let's talk about these headlines. Intel in focus as the new CEO takes over, Lip Bhutan. He's got a whole bunch of different plans, especially for their foundry business. So lots to talk about there. NVIDIA as well, starting their GTC conference. Lots to talk about. Their networking, quantum, all will be in focus, Brendo. Mizuho lowering Tesla's price target as a result of weak Chinese sales. And this one really interested me. Klarna becomes Walmart's executive buy now, pay later, booting Affirm to the side. Yeah, Affirm down big on that. I'm sure we'll talk about it coming up here. But interesting with that GTC, NVIDIA conference this week. Jensen tomorrow. Typically, the keynote's day one, but Jensen tomorrow. So we'll hear from him. I think it's 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 on the Pacific time zone. So, NVIDIA going to be in focus here most of the week, it would appear. Yeah, lots of quantum stocks moving around on Friday. More movement here in the pre-market. Neil is back from sunny Florida. Hey. Good morning, guys.
Yeah, sunny Florida. Sunny Florida.
It was a little sunny, just a little bit. Oh my goodness.
Probably sunnier than here.
It was so gorgeous. I'm not gonna lie. I look forward to, I love traveling. I love building memories, family trips, all that kind of stuff. But I always look forward to the Florida trip because we leave here and it's there's mounds of snow, which mine melted by the way. And then you get down there and the weather's so nice. People are fantastically nice down there. And the craziest thing was, obviously you're on vacation, you're not supposed to look at what the market's doing, all that kind of stuff. But after Monday, I was like, holy crap, all of the stink bids that I got hit are going to get hit on the first day of the week.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is exactly what happened. So it was, I tried not to look at the market after that, got a little bit of tan myself, and happy to be back, my friend.
Yes.
It's a good week.
That's the one.
I see I don't know what's going on with, you put an orange in the trophy?
Okay. No, you weren't even here on Friday. Yeah. We still got, this is your winner is still sitting here, Andy, so.
You didn't even do anything with that?
He keeps on winning, and
but what did he win?
We keep on losing.
He wins a free coffee. Wins a free coffee. Didn't he win 7 out of 11?
We were buying one last year. Yeah, he always wins, and I never win. So. But yeah, no, it's great to have Neil back in here. We'll have Joe and Sharif on the midday show again. Joe filled in great. I think Obi I saw
he's here.
Yeah, so I thought I saw him. He's not back there right now, but yeah, good. Yeah, I'm sure the weather was a little bit better here. You didn't miss much in the market. Yeah, I mean, as I was saying, every day. Today's the most calm day. Actually, NASDAQ now popping a little bit there. We were having some issues with our hearing devices. Is that what they're called when you're this age? Retail sales. +3 versus +3, +0.03, so we're good to go here. Here's the last little numbers. So that started ramping up. Feb retail sales 0.3 versus 0.3. Retail sales month over month 0.2 versus 0.6. 0.9 prior. So it looks like we'll miss the estimate there, but better than the prior. So the market's starting to get back upside a little bit here, hoping that retail's not as bad, right? We're a little worried about retail sales. I had QBTS on my mind here and Rigetti, so both those names starting to pop. We have them written down on the sticky note as well. And then just talking about some retail names, Amazon already up today, 0.7. So that's really nice. Yeah, the position board is working. We're not in any positions right now. So we'll wait to see when we get into something. Hopefully that will be updated. But
Yeah, that works.
yeah, so far so good here. Alibaba, Roblox, a couple things on our mind. You know what I wanted to look at? JP Morgan, some of the bank names.
Like them
231. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I bought this last week as well, seeing if this could pop up and down today. So yeah, so far so good. Yeah, great to have you back. Bitcoin's at 83.5. That actually didn't move too much. It did make a move down to 76, 77 there. But
yeah, there was the 70s in Bitcoin. There was that Tesla 220. Well, it broke 220, I guess. But I was thinking 220, 222. 5 twos in a row. $222.22.
Right.
Is the number. But that's actually, like, everything was so bad. What's interesting when I was going through all of the charts and looking at, you know, what I like to trade, what not to, and that kind of a thing, and the key levels that got missed, was you had an obvious high that got put in for the week. Like, if you look at Tesla, it's not the best example. Look at the NASDAQ. You had the Monday drop, and then we kind of topped out 19.8, double bottomed it, and then kind of topped out underneath that. ES, kind of a similar story. I mean, it made a fresher low there on Thursday, but the initial pop high, 56.6, it's still resistance. So you have stocks that either were able to break the range of last week tops, or the ones that were not. So Tesla is under that not category, 252. NVIDIA is under the yes. So it was easy to sort of group stocks around like that. They were able to break away. So as strong as Tesla was off the bottom, it never actually broke out its top, quote unquote, yes. I also heard some things from, like, Sharif was telling me some things were revealed about Joe that I'm a little bit surprised about. No, so like I sit down and Sharif's like, yo, do you know that Joe has never had pie in his life? I was like,
wow, he gets it started throwing Joe immediately under the bus.
No, I didn't.
The guy's not even sitting down yet.
I didn't even make a judgment. Joe walked past. I was like, oh yeah, Sharif mentioned this to me, like right when I sat down.
So Sharif, instead of asking you about how your vacation was, just like, listen to this about Joe, you know?
I mean,
poor Joe.
So like, hold on a second. Because, so no pie whatsoever.
No, he never even had a slice of pie. Not even a birthday cake.
I had key lime pie probably at, I would say four of my dinners. I had key lime pie as dessert. It was delicious. There was one, and I'm not gonna name the place because it was the worst. I've never had a bad key lime pie in my life. I've definitely never had a bad key lime pie in Florida. But there was one where I was like, this is not key lime pie. Because the standard for me is so high, and I'm not gonna out the name of the place, but
yeah, you don't want.
I wouldn't want to do that to them because everything else was fire. The grouper sandwich was out of control. Their crab cakes were unreal.
Right.
Everything was great, and then like this is
not a good dessert.
Not a good dessert. But you gotta have pie.
I know. It's like it's this. He lost his mind over there, but
it's all good.
Good guy overall.
Of course.
Is that half a bagel over there? There we go. He's had bagels before, so that's good. All right, look, busy day here, busy day. I don't know if we should have Michael Noss coming through at some point here today as well. The whole crew's in, man. We got Fabian, we got Ramin, we've got
full house.
I think we've got Andre. I see his desk over there. Dara's here. We're all ready to go. So it should be an exciting one. Joe's got the dress shirt on here. He's going to a wedding after this, so that's really nice.
You got a new shirt.
This is a new shirt. Yeah, this is a new shirt.
I like the look.
My other one was, this is like this is Lululemon, actually.
Is that seriously? How come no one's wearing green, by the way?
I've got green pants on.
There you go. Sean got green pants. I got a green shirt. Sharif's wearing some green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's not.
It isn't unless you say it is.
And then I actually got Lululemon socks on too, so it's pretty. All right. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Forgot about that one.
Green.
I saw there was a lot of celebrations over the weekend. It's like they shut down Waterloo. By the way, you can't. They were giving any kid that was out there partying $500 ticket. So good luck paying that in Waterloo and in Hamilton. They shut. Yeah. They got some sort of an injunction against the kids there. So that's where Neil and I went to school there.
Terrible. You know what was nuts?
Tears popping.
We were sitting next to one of the games. We were sitting next to a dude who went to Waterloo as well.
Yeah.
Lives in the U.S.
Yeah.
But he went to the same. My wife and I both went to Waterloo University, so it was pretty cool. You meet a lot of.
You're up 4%.
A lot of interesting people when you're at the games in Florida from all over the world.
Yeah, you gotta
But then
always
you
talk
see
to
so many
people.
from Toronto. It's like, hey, where are you from? Toronto. I'm like, no, seriously, where are you from? And they're like, yeah, Toronto.
No one was hating on Canadians over there?
You know what? There was no booing of any national anthems.
Right.
There was no, like, and again, like, you put out good vibes, you get them back. Like, I didn't talk to anybody that wasn't, polite and nice, and, there was no bad or anything. And I've had a couple of friends. I know a friend who went on a cruise, and he's like, he had some conversation with Americans that were, like, trash talking Canada.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, I had, zero experience of that. The difference, of course, being, you're down there, you're around where the Jays play, so everyone's there.
Canadian.
Also too, like in Dunedin, that area, spring training is a big deal, so there's going to be a lot of Canadians out there. Florida's just so nice,
Canadian
in general
thing,
sense.
but,
But there's so many strong stocks right now. I'm loving it.
Yeah, today's going to be a good day.
feels
The NASDAQ just started to pop up here, so yeah, buying the dip last week might have been the right thing to do. We'll wait to see what winds up happening here. Big Bear AI up nicely too. So yeah, we're cruising right here. Palantir up 3.5%, almost up 4%. Going to take out $90. We talked about this being to $100 by the end of this week. I think that's very possible. So watch out for Palantir here. So yeah, okay, we're ready to go, man. Yeah, Nvidia's these are already on. The sticky note is out, but these are already all on there, man. Like Nvidia, I talked this to Joe. What a great bottom that was. So sort of sneakily now up about 17, 18% there in a week goes Nvidia. So the death of this chip giant seems to be well overplayed. So anyways, okay, let's go back to the desk here and see what the guys are up to.
0.3%. So
Oh yeah.
it's 0.3. We were just saying the market's rallying, but it looks a lot bigger than it actually is. We just went from 0.2 to 0.2 negative to 0.3 positive. So about 0.5%. Swing back to the upside here. I was just looking at Tesla as well, moving around here a little bit this morning. One of the few that are trying to lead us back to the upside. We ended Friday around 250, still down about 0.4. So there's a little bit of relative strength, or relative weakness, I should say, going into what could be an interesting week once again for Tesla. Nvidia, meanwhile, 1.5% already, about to test the highs here ahead of, as we were saying, GTC to get going later today.
So a couple of things here, Brendo, about the NVIDIA look. We're going to have, obviously, GTC all week. The 20th is going to be the day, March 20th, is going to be the day that they take on Quantum. So we'll be waiting to hear what they have to say after Jensen really basically said we're looking at a 30-year runway before Quantum's usable. That's number one. Number two, what's really going to be in focus, obviously, in addition to their new chip that they're supposed to be releasing for 26, 27, is the networking component of connecting all these advanced AI processors. After Elon was able to string 100,000 of these together, surprising everybody, networking has really been in focus. So expect more from that this week, Brenda.
Yeah, we'll see what Intel comes up with the new CEO officially stepping into the reins, or taking over the reins today. I saw a headline this morning. I didn't get a chance to read the story, but those astronauts finally got back down. Was that Elon?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was. Yeah.
By the way, he tried to get them home sooner under the previous administration. It was denied, just to put that out there.
Yeah, we don't need to get into that. Michael Noss, I see standing by here. We'll bring him in to have a look at what he is thinking about so far this weekend, I guess, and into a brand new week. Again, the Fed coming up on Wednesday. We have this NVIDIA thing all week long, so a lot to pay attention to as far as headlines are concerned. But Sharif and I mean, bring him in, guys, whenever he's ready. Sharif and I were sitting here on Friday and talking about gold back to all-time highs, Michael Noss, and you wanted to touch on that, plus a few others.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of stuff going on with quantum computers and AI chips and craziness like that. I'm not smart enough to know about any of those things. I did have an interesting chat by a fire with a buddy of mine who took a lot of physics. Not quite a PhD, but got close, and he doesn't believe in any of it. So take that for what you will. But we're going to talk about more boring stuff. So we're going to talk about commodities, maybe a little lumber, maybe a little copper, things like that, that I think if they're moving, they might be a little bit safer to play than maybe quantum computers. I was looking at those charts while you guys were chatting, and up, a couple 100,000% and then down 50% in a blink of an eye. So let's start with gold. Let's start with something a little bit more, I guess, calmer to start out a Monday morning. And yeah, this is the gold chart that we've been looking at forever. I remember coming on the show and showing a cup and handle going back till 2012. and looking for this to break, and it did, and it was been kind of glorious ever since then. So full disclosure, right, I still own a little bit of gold as we hit the 3,000 mark, but selling it on the way up makes it a very, very small piece at this point. But the fact that we continue to break out this week made it so that when I'm going through all of what I go through on the weekends, I wanted to take a look at the commodity sector. And I saw a couple CMTs talking about some other commodities that might be interesting. And we'll talk about at the end what I think this could potentially mean for maybe some inflation. And this may actually end up being a bear case for stocks the more we talk through it. But let's go to the first chart here. And we have copper. So often called Dr. Copper. Generally speaking, this is actually a pretty good health indicator of the economy, because if you're making new buildings, if you're creating new technologies, all of these things need copper, right? All the wires in your house are done with coppers. All the wires in the building are done with copper. So if copper is going to break out here, which it looks like it might, it's been tapping up against this, call it $5 or so over and over and over again. Then if we have a breakout here, then that potentially means there's more demand for copper out there, especially China, I know, is a massive consumer of copper. So this could be leading for an overall healthy economy, because if people need copper, they're probably building things. And if they're building things, again, that's long-term growth and long-term interest on the weekly chart here on copper. Another one that's interesting to me is lumber. So lumber actually broke out, made a couple 52-week highs recently. I try to ignore the big drop on this chart because that was COVID. You remember there was all the memes out there that, a plank of wood made you one of the richest men in the world. So I kind of ignore that crazy spike and just look at what happened after COVID settled down a little bit. As we know, COVID broke a lot of charts, but spent a long time in this range, 2-3 years in this range when it came to lumber, breaking out here again. Again, another sign that potentially we're building things. If we need a lot of lumber and there's a lot of demand for that, and there's a lot of demand for copper, could mean houses and apartment buildings and these things, that's what would suck all those up. And that could mean, again, in the future, right, jobs and all the good things that comes from building new things. This next chart is interesting. I got this from my friends over at All Star Charts, and they were talking about silver and the short interest, how they're tracking this with a couple different commodities. So I think they're using futures and some CFDs and a couple different ways to calculate this, mainly on the future side of things. Now, a 12% short float doesn't seem that crazy if you just look at it as a static number. But if you chart it over time, there has never been a point where people have been more short silver. So, I call silver gold's crazy cousin. And quite often, it can lag gold. So you have these breakouts in gold, and then later you have some sort of a catch up in silver down the road. This is, again, a more volatile gold play. And if we go to the chart here, starting to look very interesting. So this, call it $29 or so, I believe, an ounce. This one's calculated in. We broke out of that in early 2024, and then we've come back and we've tested it. And we've been testing it over and over and over again to the downside. And then last week, this is a weekly chart, so that candle last week actually technically made a new all-time closing high for the last, I think, 7 or 8 years. So starting to move. If you go way out on this chart, it looks even more interesting. There's a massive level here around $33, $34 an ounce. So if there's a lot of people out there that have been short that, I know there's companies that will do some sort of pairs trade between gold and silver. If they've been shorting silver because it's underperforming and it's starting to break out here, that's no different to me than if a stock is shorted. It just means that 12% of the silver market is way bigger than 12% of a normal stock market. So it means there's some large institutions here that are potentially short and they could be caught offside. So if we start to see an increase in these commodity prices, to me, and this is kind of the bear case that I think it'd be interesting to think through for more economists out there, is this asset prices rising? Is it, if it's going to cost me more in copper and in lumber to build the house because things are moving higher? A lot of this, again, could be tariff news, that type of thing. Is that going to make those houses more expensive? Is it going to make those buildings more expensive? And is that going to trickle down into inflation down the road, which in turn always leads back to the Fed? Maybe a little bit less of a chance that the Fed will cut. But for us as short-term traders and investors, these are kind of the commodities I think that might be interesting for the next couple of weeks.
Given the environment ahead of what's to come, even this week and then into the rest of the summer with the Fed, I mean, we get a squeeze on silver, we get, continuation on gold. It's been, a 10-year kind of slow grind to the upside. Is there, maybe one group or another group as far as equities are concerned that may be setting up a little bit better?
Yeah, so GDX, I don't have the chart there, but yeah, GDX is just the gold miners ETF from Van Eck. And that one is looking a little bit interesting to me because that's hitting, just bring it up here, that's hitting, all-time highs. It's knocking up against all-time highs here. So GDX, it's going to be the gold miner. Generally speaking, you'll find with these companies, if they're mining gold and if they find some silver, they'll mine some silver as well. So not a huge difference usually between gold and silver miners. And that one's been butting up against these $43, $44 a share area. So you can either go and play the ETF when it comes to silver. I've actually been told that TSLA is the way to play silver by some of my more paranoid friends because they have a physical accounting of the silver they have on hand as opposed to SLV that trades futures. So you could do the overall just commodity and you could just trade those via ETFs, or something like GDX will do well. Obviously, if you're mining this stuff and the price explodes, then selling it's going to impact your bottom line at some point.
Great stuff. Michael Noss, have a wonderful Monday. We'll see you again after the close tonight.
I'll talk to you then.
Forward to it as always, but no green either from the Nosvos in the red. Lumberjack doing his thing. It's St. Patty's, man. No one really feeling it, but well, I'm just saying, Joe. Sean and I have green on. Sean's got the pants. I got the shirt. Shari's got a little bit of green on. This is green. So look, it's green. It's about as green as it's greener than your pants, man. I'm just saying.
Greener than the pants?
Yeah, it is.
Come here,
yes,
Joe.
it is. Yeah.
What's more green, my pants or his shirt? Tie.
Oh, come on. I was going to wear, the only other green thing I have my my Spartans t-shirt, but I'm like, I'm not wearing a t-shirt.
I can just end the discussion. I can just end the discussion immediately. And then there we go. So now it's over with. Now it's over with. But yeah, thank you, Michael Noss, wearing the red.
Yes. I do like, silver has a chance. It's just
Ohio
been so disappointing.
State red.
Ohio State.
I don't know. There's the Michigan. We have the final March Madness, of course, brackets being set.
Ooh, MSU blew it in the semis, Big Ten semi. Oh, yeah. What do you think?
Michigan proper is the Wolverines.
Yeah.
Could be pretty nice there, but Michigan State,
They're good.
Well, what rank did Michigan State wind up getting?
They should. You know what? I haven't looked at the bracket.
Yeah, I know.
They should be a 2. They were supposed to be. I just assumed they'd be a 2 because they were supposed to be a 2. So.
Yeah. Okay. Amazon continues to go up, so 1%. Thanks, Michael. Look, we talked about gold for a while here, man. I've been not pumping gold, but we've been talking about gold for a while, and how I thought there was a spot for it in your portfolio. It's nice to see finally breaking out. Like I said, we're only in it right here, 250. This break here, 254 and change. So it's been a nice month and a half for sure for gold. I mean, definitely stair-stepped up, which is really nice. And gold shouldn't fall like an elevator, like a lot of these other names. So I feel pretty confident in what we're doing right now. Just trying to, again, it's such a small piece, but I just tweeted this out right here too. And that is that these stocks, it's been a pretty big bloodbath right here. This is from Carbon Finance, but Reddit down 40, Tesla down 40, Hood down, now we're getting into 30s, 30, Palantir 30, Shopify now, Snow, Spotify, NVIDIA, all these names, quite a big wreck here over the last couple weeks. So we'll have to wait to see if there's anything. And I just asked, are we buying any of these names? Oh, here, let me see what someone said here. All right, so all the Meg 7 apparently says John Landell, and that's about it. So we'll just continue to monitor this. But I was thinking about picking up some Reddit myself, how far down that name has come. So there are a couple different, we'll see about the upgrades and downgrades, see if any of these names are on there. But Reddit down to 127. It touched 110 or something. Yeah, like what a beat up name that was. Nice little move there last week late, bouncing off of that. Wow, of course we come right down to there, right down into the 200 period, almost nail it dead on. So I don't know if Reddit's big over there in Europe or anywhere like that, but I think it's pretty big over here in North America. So let's wait to see what Reddit wants to do. Not too many earnings. This week you have a coiled spring, though, by the way. You have Nike. I think this is a name that there's right near the bottom. If they ever get this figured out, I think Nike could definitely bounce off of these levels as well. So another name that's down had some good support here. NKE with, I believe, earnings on Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. So we'll watch out for Nike. But
This week.
This week at some point, one of the bigger names there as well. Nike's going to be in a little bit of trouble now, but we'll see. Like I said, coiled spring. And then Bitcoin coming down again. It might break 83 to the downside right now as the market up 0.22. All right, are we ready to go over there, Fabian? All right, let's go over to the screen with Adara.
One of the names you mentioned there, Sean, actually is on the downgrade side of things, but let's start with the upgrades. Netflix here up about 1% with a Moffett-Nathanson upgrade, an $1,100 price target. Crown Castle here down in the day, but getting upgraded by Wells Fargo. Norwegian Cruise Lines here up almost 4% with a JP Morgan Chase upgrade. And we have American Tower here being upgraded by Wells Fargo. Now on the downgrade side of things, Lee Auto, one of last week's biggest earnings losers, getting a downgrade today from Macquarie. RLX Technology here getting downgraded by Citigroup. Redburn Atlantic downgrading Reddit. As mentioned earlier, RDDT certainly on watch with a $75 price target. Last but not least, Citigroup downgrading Emerson, and Micron and Nike both set to report after the bell on Thursday. Back to you.
There it is, on Thursday. And Micron, of course, another one that's always late to the cycle, and you're like, yeah, everything's done. And then we get a little Micron action, and it always gets forgotten for the chip name. But Norwegian might be everything's making a temporary bottom when you look at charts of last week. So this might not be the kind of stock that is going to stand out. However, you got to remember, these guys got smoked. All the cruise lines got smoked from highs in the last little week, the last few weeks and months. It wasn't just about tech. A lot of things got burned up. There's your bottom. There's your break of the bottom. I think you got room to get back to the 200 period, which is sitting at $22. NCLH, CCL, usually prefer trading a CCL, but NCLH on that upgrade gives you a little bit of juice if you're in these. Well, hopefully, if you're in it last week, but very similar looking charts. Temporary bottom, made the prior high, they get in that group of what broke out the highs from last week when the markets couldn't break the highs of last week. And so you've got a little bit more strength in Norwegian because of the upgrade, but a similar story. I think back on a little bit of a comeback trail. They both have a little bit of a short float as well, worth looking at. And I'm not going to lie, QBTS is doing way too much volume, and there's NVIDIA, Tesla, and Affirm to worry about today, but you can do worse than looking at some of those cruise lines.
Yeah, no, the cruise lines, again, probably the best value out there for as far as taking a vacation. Pretty cheap still to do that. Yep. 88% of the cruises are sold out even heading into 2025. So that was a number that I heard. I don't know if that was a Viking number or not, but at the end of the day, that's pretty cool.
Whoa, hey,
I like that view right there. Yeah, that's like Obi's charts where you just have all the lines everywhere, and it's like, this is what this means. Yeah, Reddit, we'll see. Downgraded there today, down 1%. I think you picked this one up for sure. If you do have a little bit of a crash, I don't want to say a crash today. It doesn't look like the market's going to do that. But if the market does pull in, I still think this is a name that I want to buy, honestly, and then just wait to see what happens at 100. I think you could do a lot worse than buying something at 120 or 115, taking a 20% shot here to gain. I don't know if, to get back to the top, look, if the S&P 500 regains all-time highs, we know that many of these names will help that happen. And I think that Reddit is one of those. So I think for 20% up, you only need $25 here to get 20%, right? It's 125. So I think up to 150, 160, 170, definitely a possibility with a minimal downside because you're just going to punch out. You can even punch out if it breaks 105. So I'm thinking like this one for $20 worth of risk. For $20 worth of upside, you just need to get back there. So that could even be there today. So anyways, I like Reddit. I think it's well worth it. That's some part of the portfolio that I actually want to add to. I was even debating. So I have JP Morgan in the swing account. I was actually debating taking some out because we're long right around here. So we're long a little bit better than this. But anyways, at the end of the day, I think there's going to be more juice in the swing accounts here for some of these plays that have been beat up, including like an Affirm, and we're going to get to that in just momentarily. It's 9 o'clock.
Nice bounce.
But this name, yeah, it had a nice bounce right there, and it's also had a nice bounce off of the bottoms. And then Klarna is coming up with their IPO, which is going to be interesting as well, but down there into $40, $44 at the 200 period. Let's see what happens with Affirm today. Down 6. It was down 10, so nice move back there for Affirm. Yeah, actually. Really nice, to be honest with you. I have to see if that's shortable or not. But yeah, stocks could drop a little bit here at open for sure. We get that nice retail number that popped through there at 8:30. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening. The chat seems to be pretty mixed on what they think.
Before we get back to the desk and throw it back and talk about some futures, we got some super chats. Let's try to get to here. Shout out and thank you to Brian Herman. A couple of super chats. Thank you for that one. And then another, you'll have to start winning sometime.
Well, not really.
Yeah, well, you're probably talking about the Blue. This was early, and I think it was referencing the Blue Jays when I was talking about the Jays. They don't have to start winning. They just have to start paying the players. And thank you for another super chat there, Jerry. And what up, Jerry? I did get well rested. 100% of my needed sleep according to my Whoop the entire week. It was fantastic, but I'm glad to be back. I mean, there was so much happening. I saw a couple of people and they were sitting behind me on the Tuesday when there was a big day downside Monday, and then Tuesday, I believe it was the day that Tesla was that Tuesday was the day they're down 14%, I think it was.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I mean there was a couple of bad days earlier.
Yeah, it was a couple of really bad days, and you heard people talking about the markets, and that's what made me look. I think it was the Tuesday. Was it the Tuesday that it made the fresh low? I think because Monday was nasty, and then Tuesday it made another fresh low. Either way, there were some people talking about the market. It was hard to ignore on early in the week, and then a little bit quieter. So kind of stunk missing it, but got the stink bids, got some Nvidia, got that Meta, obviously got the Tesla 222, and that was it because I'd already bought some Bitcoin. So maybe let's get to the desk, talk a little bit about the futures, which
Bitcoin's the one not really
went
bouncing.
green.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's not doing anything.
I know.
Boo, Bitcoin. Do something. I wish I had the do something button. I don't have that one.
Yeah, I do. All right, we'll go back.
All right, guys, 56.40. That's where we closed out yesterday, or not yesterday, Friday on the ES March contract. The overnight high is right that 50-point level, 56.49, the overnight high. If we can take 50, then we'll look at 56.75 as resistance. If we have trouble with 50, we're going to look to the overnight low, 55.99, essentially 5,600 as support.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you jump down to the description of this video. Top link in the description will get you to the sign-up page for the watch list. Absolutely free every single day. All you need is your email address. Has everything on it you need to know before we come on at 8:30. Broadcom moving around right now, just seeing AVGO downside. Not a huge move, about 0.5% here. Just went 196 down through 194. Apparently Google has tagged MediaTek for cheaper AI chips. So again, Google tapping MediaTek for cheaper AI chips. So AVGO just took a bit of a dump there. Let's talk about NVIDIA here to kick things off. Going to be in focus most of the week. I mean, let's be honest, probably today and tomorrow, and then you don't really hear much after that. It's usually the first day. Yeah. We get the keynote speech. Keynote tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern from Jensen.
We can get some wild cards because the 20th we got quantum, so we'll be out. We're looking for those quantum names. Let's talk about what we're expecting today. So NVIDIA's GTC conference focuses on AI and quantum computing, but a key under-the-radar development, Brendo, is emerging as a very important issue here. Data center networking technology, that's what they're going to be talking about on the first and second days, apparently. And so NVIDIA is basically discussing this CPO technology to improve AI server connectivity with lower power consumption. CPO is part of NVIDIA's expansion into Ethernet networking technology, an area that basically had been kind of left behind until this point. The impact of this, so CPO could reduce demand for optical transceivers, which are used in fiber optic networks. Some major transceiver companies we're talking about here, Applied Optoelectronics goes under the ticker AAOI. There's also Coherent, COHR, and LITE. All have seen stock declines, Brendo, ahead of the conference as a result of this technology.
We'll see what we learn coming up today and tomorrow from NVIDIA. But already, guys, 1.5% here to try and lead things to get things going on Monday.
Yeah, it's leading is the right word. You know, it's the leader. And it looks like obviously it wasn't here on Friday, but it broke out last week's highs on Friday, which is pretty much all you can ask for. We show the futures chart where you had a distinct top that got made early in the week after the bottom, and not many things broke back out, but NVIDIA absolutely did, made the low, broke it out once, broke it out twice. So there's a few places I like it here today because you can be at 118 and still be holding well above that last week top, excluding the Friday. So you got 18. I think locally here, because clearly, when you're at 123, you can't be thinking about 118 unless disaster strikes. You got prior highs sitting at 122, and then afternoon support at the 120 level that I'm going to like. So those are the two places that I want to look at here today. It'll be under VWAP, which anytime it's under VWAP on a dip in a strong market, then I understand if I believe it's a long over the Friday highs, then it's patience if it loses a pre-market low. But if it just sits there holding VWAP, it's join the trend and play off that later on in the week. Oh, Intel's going to be on. Hey, Intel's got its own thing next. So I don't have to talk about that one yet.
Yeah, Intel is there too. We have NVIDIA marked down here. I mean, it's the same old, man. I mean, we just continue to trade. 120 long with the GTC this week. It's been a huge name. It's great off that bottom there. Let's wait to see what happens with NVIDIA today. I mean, it's going to be the #1 idea. If it falls back into 120, that would be fantastic. I mean, that's the levels that we're going to wait for. We'll be patient to see what happens off the open. But again, like held all afternoon, does have an opportunity to come right back in. It's not like the others though, where you move like, I mean, this on some of the days, sure, but that's only $3 or $4 there. Like Tesla will move $15 or $20. Like this name's gonna have to have a big move to get like into a load up area right off the jump. So we'll have to wait to see. But the 200 period right now at 122.50, definitely looking long. I mean, I don't see any reason not to. The market right here is falling back in. NVIDIA's kind of like hold my beer. So I definitely like this play. I don't think the breakout is the right play here early because you could still get faded out. So yeah, for me right here, that's 120. It's not too far. 122 is that top. So that's what I'm initially going to look at here, 122, see if we can hold that. But the thing is, you don't want to get too caught up in this play. So let's just wait to see what happens with NVIDIA. I mean, yesterday was a huge week. I think we were 4 for 5 on the week. So let's just keep those good flows going. It's the futures really that's going to matter, right? I mean, if the futures pull back into VWAP, then we will get some of those levels that we like. And I do think that that's imminent. So let's wait to see what happens down here. Right before the number came out, retail numbers down here on the futures, 19,670. So, you know, we liked 19,600 last week, Joe and I. We'll see if it can hold that level, but right into their 19,670, the area for the futures. So if we do get a drop into that, we'll be playing off there. It might be an easy trade to make the Qs earlier on, so we'll wait. Like if we hold VWAP again, that's going to be right back into some of these pre-market levels, 61, 61.50. So yeah, excited to see what these futures bring. We have to hold those levels before we get long NVIDIA. We don't need to chase that stock. So we'll just wait for it. Yeah, SOXL, SMH, all of that. Brendan brought up Broadcom, so lots of stuff happening. Intel, of course, will be along.
Intel, let's go to it. Yeah, 2 days in a row here. We're looking at 3. We're actually higher up here this morning on this daily chart. So the new CEO euphoria continues here for Intel. Day 1 in office today for the new guy.
Yeah, really interesting to see how he plans to take care of some of the problems that they have there. So he's planning major staff cuts to eliminate what he calls bloating in middle-level management. He also seeks to restructure Intel's AI strategy and manufacturing operations. Some things that he wants to basically secure. He wants to secure major clients right off the bat. He wants NVIDIA, Google, and Broadcom to help improve the 18A manufacturing process that he's basically looking to use for his next major hedge, which is that Panther Lake chip. We'll have to see how that all works out. They want to release it hopefully in 2027, Brendo. So lots of work to do for the new guy.
Yeah, that being said, there's not a heck of a lot of volume here, a little bit less even than the past couple of days, guys, behind this move, but we are gapping up once again.
Well, the stairs are leading up, and you know, they got the new CEO while it was gone, but that was the expectation that you could see finally get a bump. It just regained the 200 period moving average. It obviously ended the week pretty strong. I like the fact, I should say, that there was a bit of a consolidative top there at that 200 at about $24 that you saw on Friday. Like it just held the top end of the range. And when you do that, I mean, I'm always going to like the continuation play in a situation like that. After you get gap up, strong, consolidation day, look for the continuation. That leads you to a lot of places on Intel. Now, the 24 where there was buying in the afternoon Friday, and then the top as well, like this 24.3. Like you have high, and then holding VWAP. So it gives you a couple places to look for that trend. If it's losing $24, that's a little bit of a different story because I think it'll require some patience. And even if it's an inside day, I know the volume's not as big as it would have been pre-market the last couple of sessions, but there's still a few million shares in volume here on Intel. So while it's in play, Intel looks good for a continuation.
Yeah, look, I have Intel written down here at 24 bucks. I mean, if it comes back into Friday's close, we like the stock. It's already up today. So this one's probably the first long that we'll get involved with down here, 24. If it holds it, it holds it. I was going to say that 23.50 is what I wrote down on the sticky note as our ultimate out, but I think this is the play that'll most likely hit. I mean, again, the market has to fall back a little bit, but I think this 24 is good. I'm already bidding 24. I'm bidding 24.11s right now. So, I mean, again, like the stock. I'm not too excited that this is the first day for the new CEO. For me, that's relatively, I don't know. We got to give these guys at least 2 quarters. I think you're seeing that with Chipotle and stuff too. So with new CEO, but $24 is where the 50 period, the 200 period, on the 5-minute chart lies. The 50 period's at 24.20s. So I'm trying to play in the middle here. Let's just see if it holds. If we break, that's 23.50 right there. So if you break 23.50, then I think we can just say forget about it, and then we'll wait for this low there, 23. So yeah, a little bit of a flow back in. I really like $24 to come in again. What poll? Yeah, I already voted 15%. It was whatever I voted for. So as soon as it came up, I voted. I mean, I don't think the SPY is going to drop too much further than we even have right now. So I'm pretty happy with what we're doing. We've been buying the SPY all last week. It's the only thing that we've been buying. We bought that in JP Morgan. So we're really loading up on the index, and so far so good there. So I don't even know if I'm in the money, but we'll wait to see. I think the NASDAQ is the one, not the S&P. I think the NASDAQ is the one that's going to be more volatile, obviously, with some of these Mag 7 names getting thrown around. So I like the S&P 500. There's many green shoots out here, right? I mean, we'll just wait to see if it can pick up. It's not all sectors are getting crushed. It's just right now the tech feels the worst.
If you look at this poll, that means 20. So because 11% are saying 35%, 12% are saying 50%. So the 23%, 1 in 4 of you guys think the market's going to go down by at least 35%. I think 25%.
Those are just bears. They don't actually.
Isn't crazy. Although if you think you made a temporary bottom in here, here's the thing: you could easily make a temp bottom, regain the highs, and then do another drop. I think that's a little bit more likely than straight from here going down. But yeah, good poll. I mean, I voted for the same thing. 50% think it's 15%. I'm in that boat, but we'll find out. I know one name that's not going up today, and that's Affirm. Not good. Not good.
All right.
To bounce, kind of. Still 7%, though, to the downside. If you missed it this morning, Klarna partnering up with OnePay to exclusively offer month-to-month payments for Walmart. So Affirm step aside here in a pretty big way.
Yeah, and they're doing it right ahead of their planned IPO launch, Brendo. So getting that big client before they go into the public market. So as you mentioned, Klarna replaces Affirm as Walmart's sole buy now, pay later provider. The service will be available in stores and online using fintech startup OnePay, which is owned by Walmart, as Brendo mentioned. They're going to offer 3 to 36 month terms with interest rates ranging between 10 and 36%. The full rollout expected to be by the holiday season. As I mentioned, Klarna preparing for its U.S. IPO. Basically, it's had a roller coaster valuation. I know that we were really overvalued in 2021, but listen to this, Brendo. $46 billion valuation back at the height of the pandemic. $15 billion today, so not even half. We'll have to wait and see what they actually get to market for, but anticipating that.
Yeah, as you said, one of the most hyped in the last little while, IPOs potentially to come through this year.
Finally, we get an IPO worth its size, or with any kind of size. Been waiting around. I don't know the exact date yet, and we will get those details eventually. But I think it'll be a good one to trade. Like, you can't promise where they'll go up because you never know where it's going to actually open. There's no way to spin this as good news for Affirm. However, it did manage to bounce off sort of last week's 44 bottom and get to the upside. So it's not going to be any SSR bounce play at the open because it's not down 10% at the open. It's only down 7%. But you do have some interesting resistance all the way up to like 50. It's hard for me to imagine it goes green today on this type of news. So I kind of look at, let me zoom it in so you can see, like, that 200 period moving average is just, it was riding it all last week. Like, just every single close or open was just barely above, and that's at 47 where we sit right now. I think that's the area to work off of. When I sat down, 45 looked like it was a good level. Now you look at 47 as well. I think those are the places I would want to fade. If it goes green, I think that's shocking, and it's a squeeze. If on that news it breaks out last week's highs, it's probably just a straight squeeze, and I will have shorted it at some point before then anyways. But yeah, I can't spin this as good news for them. As long as we're underneath the 200 period in that 47 at the open, I want to be looking for shorts on Affirm. But excited for the IPO of Klarna. I feel like that's going to be a good volume event whenever it does happen.
Yeah, I was just fooling around with some charts here. All right, so AFRM. Look, it's a great bounce. I actually wanted to check out what the short float here was on Affirm, because that's always been a story of ours, AFRM. I know it's got under control a little bit. Yeah, it's only 4% right now, so 4.4%. So that's not going to be a big enough reason for that. Look, I think it is a little bit of a game changer there. More competition coming in is not going to be great. Now they get public money as well. You know, and as Klarna comes and gives us bad numbers, that should affect Affirm and vice versa. So let's just wait to see what winds up happening. This is another big name here. I prefer Robinhood. I know it's not the same business at all, but just in sort of like a new fintech sort of name. I never loved the buy now, pay later business. So I won't be investing in Klarna either, but Affirm's been a good stock. It's just, let me check AFRM. I just wanted to see what we were doing on a you know, a bigger time frame here, because I don't want to get too carried away with where we've been coming from, right? And so Affirm, like $15 bottom, the low of the 52-week low today, 22.25, so nowhere near that, and the high of 82.53. So you're kind of just stuck in the middle, right? Affirm's had a wild ride, so if you're looking to invest in Klarna or anything like that, this is kind of what you should expect. Affirm comes into this market at $90, goes all the way up here to 180. There's no splits involved here. And then all the way from 180 all the way down to $10. Like, that's pretty disgusting, right? And so I'm going to wait to see what happens with Klarna. But for right now, you're trying to base out a little bit. For me, this looks like good longs, and we're getting ready for that. So if you believe in the company, this on the weekly chart, you're at the 200, you're at the 50, and it looks like you might be able to find some support here. So yeah, breaking a little bit higher now, play this pullback. If you like the stock, I think it's a buy down here. I don't love the business. So, but I guess there's a lot of people using it, right? I mean, iPhone's at $1,700. I mean, anything you're buying right now seems to be super expensive. So I can understand why there is this buy now, pay later, and they can continue to charge, you know, ridiculous amounts of interest for that. And I don't think their delinquencies are that high. So Affirm, so far so good there. Down today on that Klarna news, might be a good time to pick it up, especially on the daily here at your 200 period moving average. So $45, maybe worth a shot.
I were just talking about this ultimate averaging up trade that strategy continues to average into. 310 I saw more Bitcoin added to their pocket going back the past 2 weeks for them.
You think they'd be out of the money, at least like close to break even, something like that. But let's talk about what they're actually at. So their unrealized gains from Bitcoin have fallen just below 9 billion, obviously due to Bitcoin's price struggles back in November before that big boy breakout that we got into that $100,000 level. They had a little over $10 billion in unrealized profit. So not really much different from now previous to the election. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Bitcoin is trading below or at that $84,000 level, with technicians saying a key resistance level around 87,000. Analysts also highlight 81,400 as a crucial support level. I tend to feel it's more around that 70s area. And the recent drop in Bitcoin coincides with investor anticipation of the Federal Reserve's interest rate decision, Brendo, which we're expecting this week.
MSTR still crazy volatile, obviously, but I've been trying to hold here higher, guys. That was a huge day on Friday for this one.
That was a nice move back here in Bitcoin. Yeah. Bitcoin went down into, I almost typed in MSFT. I did actually. Bitcoin went down into 73, 74,000. We didn't get quite that low. I think we bottomed out at 76 and change. So MSTR comes the next couple days and just starts to blast off higher. I mean, Michael Saylor has just basically held fort here and saying they're just buying all the dips, and they will go bankrupt or be the first $1 trillion Bitcoin company. So we're going to wait to see if that winds up happening. I mean, you just got to believe in Bitcoin. Then you have this levered trust. And that's all that this is. Every time you know, they raised capital. They did it last week. They go in there and they buy more Bitcoin, as Sharif mentioned there. Average price, I thought, was around 60 and change right there. So we'll have to wait to see where MSTR winds up going. But yeah, I don't know if you either like the stock or you don't, but right now down 1%. I think it's great to trade. There are some ETFs there that'll get you a little bit of a better price than 294 levered ETFs. But for me, I think you just keep on watching crypto, right, and watch Bitcoin. We don't trade MSTR enough on here. Maybe we should. You know, at the end of the day, I like kind of trading the exchange here. I think Coinbase makes money no matter what, but they've been hit really bad as well in this recent turnaround. So these are just names where I think if you really do believe in the NASDAQ, there's so much juice here. Like 180, these bottoms, I'm not invested into Coinbase at all. It was a play that I liked. It was one of the top ones for the year for me because I just didn't want to pick Bitcoin. I still like Bitcoin, obviously, and I think that this down here at 182 is probably a buy, especially if you believe the price of BTC goes higher. That's all you have to be as a bull. And if you are, then Coinbase and MSTR are buys. If you're not, I would wait for it to settle down, get that moment of like capitulation down to 73 again. Not again, but if we ever get down to that 73, then I think that there's something to talk about with Bitcoin. So for right now, this is that daily chart. This is what I think everyone's waiting to see what happens if we get back down into here. Yep. We didn't even we got kind of close there. I don't know if you were here. No, yeah, that would be... Yeah, because this is 7 days. So yeah, that would be a big flush there. That was probably that Monday or Tuesday. So yeah, you're gonna have to wait for this level one more time. I'd like to see it hold. I just think you're underneath the 200 period average right now. So yeah, Bitcoin's at actually a pretty interesting level with not too much talk anymore about the strategic reserve.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll wait. My biggest fear about the strategic reserve is that the next administration can just get rid of it. So it's not a law or anything. So we'll just have to wait to see what winds up happening with it. It's 4 years from now. Yeah. Doesn't it feel like Trump has been in office already like 3 years?
A lot has happened.
Just like so many things have happened here in like 45 days or maybe a little more than that. So I don't know. We're still, I feel like we're early days.
We're in like the first, second inning here.
It's weird to say that about Bitcoin, but I think it's true.
But I'm disappointed in Bitcoin. I think what's interesting to me today is Friday's high. Regardless, I don't care whether you look at IBIT or Bitcoin, it's obvious, right? Like you look at Friday's high, you were breaking out of the range that was on the week, and now you've got back underneath it. Meanwhile, when we're looking at the NASDAQ, you know, you got to the tops and we're kind of holding at some of those highs, but you're holding a little bit lower on Bitcoin. So look, if the market bounces and holds green and Bitcoin doesn't get back to 84, 85, I turn pretty short-term bearish again, I think, on this. And the one name I'm looking at right now is like Mara. Like if that were to happen and we get a sell event, Mara at $12 looks like a pretty good, I mean, it's held this pretty decently last
The market just went red.
If we show some weakness here today, you've been getting bounces off the $12 level on Mara, like almost like 5 or 6 times down here. So I think that would be possible if we get some dumping this week in Bitcoin.
I have some bad news.
Uh-oh. You're red.
Yep, the market just turned red, both on the NASDAQ and on the ES. So those of us that were sort of waiting for a pullback, maybe right off open, seems like it's already happening. And just similar to last week when we traced all that PPI, CPI numbers, and then for some reason withstood the worst number of them all, the consumer confidence from Michigan Sentiment. For some reason, we sort of bounced off that. But right now, NASDAQ downside. Part of that story, Broadcom. Brendan, what was that Broadcom story? I know these guys are busy over there, but Broadcom,
Google
right now down. Is there Google News? Okay.
Well, no, it was they're choosing. Well, basically, Google's choosing someone else.
Okay, other than Broadcom. Okay, yeah, because that's not going to be good for these guys looking to lose 180 here. I mean, 180 is still 5% more. But you lose. Whoa, shoot. Damn it, these charts, man, it gets me every time. If we lose this 180 here, a lot of wick bottom support, right? So I think that this could be a decent trade as traders panic through on this. Down 4%, we could get some massive selling off the open. I would say watch out for this 178 area, 178, 179 wick bottoms. I like those wick bottoms for support. They were bought up for reasons, right? And so I would wait out there. But the game has changed, right? If they were planning on Google, I don't know what percentage of their revenues were forecasted for this, for their I guess Q1, but yeah, nice move down there for Broadcom, and it looks like it tried to bounce and then whoops to that downside. We do have, let's just keep it here for, I mean, I didn't delay on this on purpose, but let's just wait for a couple seconds here because QBTS is seeing some downside there in New York. 5 seconds, we'll get the NASDAQ imbalances, and then maybe we could see what happens. NVIDIA's been on there pretty good the last little while, so 2 and 1. So let's wait to see. Okay, so not much action at all on Broadcom. QUBT, a good name there. That's going to be another quantum name rallying today, just 22%. I have QBTS on the watch. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Rigetti, so, oh, Palantir broke 90. No, almost. At the end of the day, it looks like on the top here, all quantum names, IonQ, QBT, RGTS, QBTS, Rivian trying to bounce off 10, which is nice. Lucid trying to bounce today as well. It looks like today we might get some of these like struggling stocks back up there to the upside. All right, no better time to have quantum on the board as the top 3 or 4 names here on the imbalances are all quantum related. I'm looking at QBTS. Let's go find the stories from the boys at the desk.
Yeah, I don't know if you mentioned it, Sean, but it was that Taiwan company, Google selecting that Taiwan company instead of ABGO. IonQ popped up in front of me there. I was checking it out, but I didn't find any news stories on it. But IonQ is still moving around. There's Rigetti as well, 0.7 to the upside this morning. It's given back more than 50% of this move already. But all of these were massive on Friday.
Oh yeah, and it's going to be even better this week now that we've got NVIDIA's first ever Quantum Day on March 20th at its annual GTC conference. Quantum computing, as you all know, rallied last year but saw an aggressive sell-off in January after Jensen CEO Jensen Huang questioned the technology's readiness. So stocks partly kind of recovered but remain well below those sell-off levels. Some of the names that you're going to want to keep your eye, or some of the breakthroughs here have been Google's Willow chip, Microsoft's Majorana QPU. China's entered the race also with a $1.4 trillion fund to help their quantum project as well. And some names that you're going to want to keep your eye on if you want to trade these quantum computing stocks: QBTS, Brendo, Rigetti, ARQQ, and then IonQ is favored by analysts due to its tech partnerships with NVIDIA and a strong patent portfolio, they say.
Yeah, a lot of these that you just mentioned there to the upside this morning already, guys, in a pretty big way.
Yeah, but as you saw with that sell imbalance starting to come back a little bit here, at least QBTS is, and that's the one with the sell imbalance. They had made a 52-week high break in the pre-market, which is a big deal because now you're failing the 52-week high break at 1141. So not any time, 1141 the prior high. You saw it hold support at 1141 and VWAP before. I think now that you've lost VWAP and that prior high, that's going to be the spot. If we can't get back above 1140, 1141, that 52-week high, this is a fade back into 10. But it's already happening. With only 2 minutes to go, just a quick update. It's now, it is bigger. Yeah, so now 1.1 million to sell was about 600,000 when Sean first showed it to you guys, I think. And now 1.1 million to the sell side. So you're going to have to, get a little bit patient with this particular one because it's already starting to dump. If it can't get back above 1140, I think that $10 level is coming into play here. I thought I saw the other ones. IonQ is a little bit smaller now, and now only 200,000 to the buy side, but QBTS starting to lose that bit. Basically, VWAP in 1140, we already lost it. Yeah,
I wrote down 1050 there. I think we want to, I'm still going to try that trade for sure. Coming back in, I actually just put a bid at 1085 where we stopped. So, I like the strong stocks here today. I like QBTS, could halt to the upside. We just had a nice, the reason why I say that is we just dropped 10%. So, like, almost, right? I mean, if you take just even on that imbalance, we went from 1180, down to 1080. So, call it 8%, but, you pop back up, you will halt. So I'm kind of waiting for that. I mean, what about an 1125 long? I think we might even take that on QBTS right off the open here just to play some excitement going long. But we only have that 1125 might just break immediately there. So, all right, well, we'll put a bid in, see what happens there. QBTS, see if it wants to ride or not, breaking through 1125. Oh, no, it's going to happen before this bell even rings. That's too bad. Okay, well, if it doesn't, we'll get in. The QBTS breaking that 11.25 right into here. Otherwise, dip buy opportunities. Unfortunately, I was getting set up with other names, and I didn't have a chance to put that bid in properly down there, but it's there now. All right, I like Amazon. We only have 20 seconds left. I like Amazon dip buys. That might come in actually sooner than I think.
NVIDIA
down here at 197. NVIDIA, yeah. All these names are pulling back, man. The market went red. So, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we get something else early here. Tesla also pulling off at 250.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tesla pulling back as well, but let's get this St. Patty's Day bell rolling in 2 and 1. Adara, let's go.
Everybody, there it is, 9:30. Okay, well, we're into something. Oh, that was QBTS. So QBTS actually falls in right now. Remember, not open yet. This is a New York name, so in a New York minute, we'll get a good response here on what's happening. Since I'm long on
dumping.
Go ahead. Yeah, the market is not doing too much, but Tesla's dumping out. I'm only in quantum, so.
Yeah, Tesla just dumped at 243, continuing to go lower. Oh, you know what just went higher? Forget to stick a fork in Intel long.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah, Intel just broke the high, so cancel. Now got to look at the prior day highs and VWAP here for Intel. So I'm going to stick, move the bids to VWAP on that, but NVIDIA also falling to the downside along with Tesla, but almost at that 122 mark. So Friday's highs right around that 122. We're going to look to pick some up there. Wow, Tesla's really dumping. And Affirm also making a bit of a dip and dive off of VWAP. No real test to that 47 area, but if it doesn't break 47, I want to look for the short continuation on Affirm. I'm going to get a stop in to cover myself because you want to have one out if you're going to go short a pop on Affirm. That's going to be the way to go. Yeah, these chip names, not all of them looking that great. I mean, NVIDIA almost went back into red.
Yeah, we're going to, we just got stopped. Well, it's too bad. We tried Palantir there for 30 cents, and it did break that bottom of 87.50. But now that we have 87.30 as an out, I do want to try it one more time into here. So we'll take another long, putting our stop at $86, $86.99. If we break through 87, then let's exit stage left, which might happen right away. We don't want to get too excited here today about the longs. I mean, obviously the NASDAQ has dropped out here a little bit, but we'll take this long. We're long right now at 60s. We'll put a piece out in the 70s if it can come back up there. And then we will, there it goes. And then we'll just try to see if it wants to go upside 89.50. VWAP right there is just at 88. So here we go. Nice. Did we just get some outs there? We didn't get enough out, I don't think, but we'll put another offer just in case it gets, oh yeah, actually we did. Okay, so nice piece out right there on Palantir. We're just starting the long off of that bottom. The futures are trying to go, so we know this name can go if it wants to. And then the other name that we're in right now, we'll start it up with QBTS. So QBTS right now, a nice little long for us. Again, we only bought that dip. We're going to wait for 10 bucks. I don't know if there's going to be any money in this name or not, but right now QBTS dropping in. The future's kind of fading out again, and then there goes Palantir. Took some profits, lost some. So yeah, let's wait. Palantir not as strong as the market right now.
Well, the market just only got back into green. Oh my goodness, Tesla. I'll get to Tesla in a quick. Little second, but NVIDIA just popped down into the 122 level. So we were able to get some at 122. Kind of misplaced the stop order, punched right back in. It's bouncing, trying to get to the $0.50. There was some support there. I'm going to get some out in front of VWAP, 122 half, and then 123, an obvious stop. But Tesla just wicked at 240. Too late. Tesla just wicked under Friday's bottoms at 240. If it can hold that 40, I think you've got a little bit of something going there for Tesla. Absolutely dumping right now. So far, NVIDIA got to that $0.50 and another turnaround. I'm going to get an offer. I should have been offering. I was on the north side of 122.5. Going to get at that 122.5. We make a fresh low. I'm jumping out of NVIDIA. The market's bouncing, and this is headed right back to the low. Tesla looks weak. I mean, the only thing that's going right now,
I'm struggling with that too.
Intel is at 25.20, and I'm sitting at VWAP. I'm sitting bidding 70 cents lower on Intel. Like I'm going to get picked up. 5% up on Intel, and NVIDIA is trying to hold at 122. You got AMD, which is powering to the upside, and NVIDIA barely doing anything. So the strength over in AMD and Intel, with NVIDIA just kind of going sideways here at this 122 level.
Okay, I mean, we're back into Palantir now because I was just saying that I'm having the same problems, thinking that, the market is trying to blast up, but the stock that I'm thinking has a really great chance to go today because Palantir was already up to $89 is going to be Palantir, but there it goes. If we break 86.50, we've done fine on it because we just keep on getting out on all these bumps, but it's not popping the way that I had really hoped. So I don't have any more offers right now except for much higher than this. So here it goes, though. We're going to get dropped out in momentarily here on Palantir. We've seen it flush many times, and we've been getting out. So we have a really controlled loss. I mean, I guess, did it just break there? I don't know. That might have been a false break. No, I don't know what just happened. Okay, well, we'll get back in, but 86.44 then looks like that's the new bottom. We'll just get back into there. And again, we've just been absorbing this play. It's been fine until it breaks, and there it goes. So, all right, let's stay away from it, man. Palantir not catching the bid that we had hoped. You're already on NVIDIA, which is probably okay, down there at 122.
Yeah, but look at the other chips. That's what's crazy about it.
Amazon.
Intel, AMD, gone. 6% now on Intel and continuing to go higher. There isn't even a VWAP retracement in there. NVIDIA is holding barely on to prior day highs. So I was able to get to about 50, and then we reload at the evens, but the prior day high is 121.8. And if we lose that, I'm jumping out. I got 11s long, so it'll break about 35 penny loss if we do lose that bottom, but the bounces are getting more and more shallow. Tesla, by the way, market's at highs. Tesla just made another break of the low.
Yeah.
The NASDAQ back at the top and Tesla continuing to languish. I wanted short off 252 on Tesla. Obviously, we're not getting anywhere near to that number. And Affirm, same thing. Like Affirm at the open, it tried to get to 47, now it's at 44. So I'm not going to chase the move down on Affirm. It just tanked $3 on me here. So I'll look at VWAP for retracement to join this short on Affirm. Maybe we'll be able to pick up some Intel. And it looks like QBTS might have calmed down after that open. It's held on to the prior high at $10. So, you know, when it lost VWAP, I wasn't interested in it. Now we're interested now it's holding that $10 level. So I want NVIDIA to play catch up, but it goes 10, 20 cents in the money, and we got to get more than that.
Yeah, I don't know, same. All right, so we just did the same thing here. We just got back in to Palantir trying. I just think the bottom, like if we could pick the bottom here, then we have a huge opportunity to get this back. So right there, we just got 87s long there. I wanted to wait for an 87 break longer so we just don't keep on buying this dip. See if we can play momentum. Back to the 200 period is basically right here. So here it is, man. It's 75 cents in the money, but we're not really going to celebrate it too hard because we have taken some hits here on PLTR. But here it goes right now. Spin it. QBTS right now, 40 cents in the money, trying to run that. Here goes Palantir, $1 in the money now, back upside. So let's just keep on. You know, we thought this had a chance to go if the market did bounce back. So now that we have it, let's give it that room to breathe. We just took a 93 out right there. Man, we're battling back quite nice in a new position alert right now for Amazon. We'll wait to see this one. Good trade there. It looks like NVIDIA is trying to go back up. We don't have the best price on Amazon. We were waiting for a little bit lower. We're just trying to take a VWAP break there of 198.50. So let's wait to see if this one wants to go. And by the way, there goes Palantir back up to 88. We did take that out. So just monitor those positions, man, because the market's rallying and this name's not. So that's something to watch out for. QBTS, nice outs there near 11.
Yeah, I'm trying to get more out here on NVIDIA. We just lost VWAP again. We actually haven't even gone back into VWAP. Sounds good, Fabian. Haven't even gotten past VWAP as we keep turning at that 122.5. So as long as we can hold the bottom, then I think we're okay. Tesla's making a bit of a bottom. It's Intel that is 100% gotten away from us at this point, so there's not much to be able to do with that. Let's go to the desk and get an update with Adara.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on BIDU here. This is Baidu, Chinese ADR here. This morning they announced they have their ERNIE 4.5 and deep thinking model here with advanced multimodal reasoning. So AI model announcement here for Baidu, sending this one to the upside. Worth noting, we do have a couple economic data prints coming out here at 10 a.m., including the NAHB Housing Market Index and the business inventories month over month. Back to you.
I don't know if I don't like holding on to positions with too many numbers coming through right now, but it's okay. Yeah, so the only position right now that seems to be in any kind of a worry is going to be Amazon. Amazon right here is just not going with the market. I thought I liked the name. I thought we got that strong retail number today. So I put down Amazon here, 197. We are in a little bit early. I'm only going to wait for this to break through 198. If it breaks 198, then we will fly out of there and see if we can get a little bit of a better price down by sort of where we pegged it at down there. So QBTS, again, good outs, fades right back in again. I'm not going to reload it. We need to see that one go. Okay, Amazon, we just talked a little bit about you. Let's see if we can get, oh my gosh, we were just waiting at 85. You know, it went to 80.
Broadcom's going to go green.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, so it just went to 80. Good. That's going to be good for your position too, right, on that? So,
ideally.
All right, so Amazon right there. We're waiting at 80s. We just missed that. That's crazy. So we'll take a 70 fill. Let's see if it gets back going. Here goes Palantir as well. That one is $1 in the money, but again, we'll have to wait for Amazon. Whoa. We'll have to wait for Amazon or for Palantir because we took some hits on that one. So before we celebrate Greensville, we need to get that back going. So yeah, man, so far so good there. I hope everyone's enjoying it. Make sure you do hit the like, the subscribe. Neil's back, so you can follow his positions as well.
I only got one, and you'd think it would be doing better. We just got another bounce off 22s and the prior low on NVIDIA, but it's even more shallow than the first. Come to the chart, there we go. So bouncing off Friday's highs, just got to 122 quarter, and the sellers are stepping in. So instead of 50s, they're selling the quarters now. I'm not reloading this another time in front of that bottom. You got to get going because the futures just took the high. Broadcom just went green, and NVIDIA is chilling at that low at 122. So it's not catching up the way that I want to. Affirm is not bouncing to VWAP yet. It's about $1 away, so I'm not going to be shorting that. You already mentioned QBTS. It bounced again off the $10 level. So it looks like a bit of a double bottom. I shouldn't say the $10
Here
level.
we go.
10.20 Friday's highs. It's bouncing off of. So if the next bar can close above, you got a double bottom to work off of. But NVIDIA needs to do something. It needs to do it quick. And here comes for the first time a dip in Intel. So VWAP now sits at 25. You can forget about the 24 long or 23.5, all that good stuff. VWAP sits at 25. That's where I want to pick this up. CEO's in tow, and Intel is leading the way here today. I bet you didn't think you'd hear that on this Monday.
Yeah, no. Intel, I mean, you weren't here, but Intel was pretty good, obviously, off those numbers.
True.
All last week. So we'll wait to see, but Neil's right there. Intel, we haven't heard too much from Intel lately. But there it is right there, $1.50 right now. It's another one. We'll see what happens with Palantir. We are just a bit early on this call, but here it comes right now. We knew we liked this name, and it seems like it's paying out right now. So far, so good here for everybody trading Palantir off that bottom. If you're a little more patient than I was, then you may have had a decent opportunity there to catch this. Up to 88.50 rate. I think we could scream even higher. I do have another offer on Palantir, 88.75. I mean, I want this thing to work, so we're going to give it some room there as well. QBTS and then Amazon. Amazon by far the biggest disappointment for me. Just not like we had the long 10 minutes ago. Since those 10 minutes, the market has blasted. We should have just stayed true to who we are, man. That TQQ trade down there would have been great. Instead of trying to find bottoms and names, we could have just picked the futures, which we know, goes. So we'll wait, but here comes Amazon. Maybe we get some relative strength. Or weakness turning into strength here against the back of this NASDAQ move. So we didn't get reloaded completely down there, but I'm still waiting at that 81 to get that fill that we missed. And then I'm at 98s near 190. I'm at 198.98. I kind of put that there just to be funny. But at the end of the day, we want to see a break of 199. That's where the 50-period moving average is. This one's not super strong about this, but it's almost $2 now on Palantir. So we'll get that high bid, high offer there. 88.80, getting us that $1.90. So yeah, Palantir so far so good there, working off the bottom. That is a chicken dinner winner, says Darwin. So far so good on that. Here goes QBTS. We are really, really patient with it, holding this one. So let's see if we can get some more out. I'm waiting at 80s to see about getting some QBTS, some D-Wave, making it work so far on that name. But yeah, man, Amazon is the one. Oh, we just got another fill there. Okay, so Amazon is the one that we're looking for here. Let's see if it can go. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the market just continues to go higher. 0.6 on the NASDAQ, 0.5 on the ES as you're breaking tops. I just got into Intel in front of VWAP, but look what just happened on NVIDIA. Like NVIDIA, which was bouncing, it does not break VWAP. You just took the low. I said, I'm not going to reload another time. If it breaks a low, there's only one place to go. Market going green, NVIDIA going red. So we had the right price, and it only got to VWAP for us. But you can't fight it forever. Next level down is going to be 120 Friday afternoon, which was also VWAP Friday afternoon. It's Intel, which is showing a heck of a lot more strength. holding above VWAP. We wanted, it doesn't really matter. You didn't get a dip to be able to buy it on Intel, which is a good thing for its strength. 25.5 is a bit of resistance here, so I'm going to get some out in front of it, and we want to be long into VWAP on Intel. Strong move. Obviously, anyone can see that. Bit of a continuation play from last week, but you do have some local resistance here at $25.50. So if we get to 25.5 again, take some out. I'm now into QBTS. While we're mentioning Intel there, as it's now double bottomed off of this low. Double bottom and a higher low on QBTS. So I'd like this to play into VWAP. We'll give it to the local bottom. If it makes a fresh low, then I want to jump out of this stock as well.
Yeah, we're into Amazon right now against 198. So I do want to scalp a little bit out here, especially if we can get going. We do have economic numbers coming out. I mean, there should be some big moves in for us right now. We're only long at 16s right here. So we'll take some out as we continue to climb a little bit on Amazon. We do want to let this number, this level hold up, but it's not looking like it, man. I mean, this has been a weak name, and I don't really know why today for Amazon. And maybe I'm missing something, and I need to do some more work on this name. But yeah, Amazon right now, looking like it just wants to keep pushing. Every single move up gets faded. So we've been getting out of some of this play. It's not that bad. We'll be red. Well, we won't be red on it. We'll have to wait to see what winds up happening here. But 198 break. We're waiting for 197.70s. Let's see what happens right here on the flush. Maybe we can hold and get back up to the upside. But right now, Amazon not looking too great. So let us know. I thought I heard a Darif with a call, but you have to let us know there, Fabian, and we'll go back over there. So right now, all good as we wait. Quantum name, QBTS, flat pretty much off of some of these lows. So, okay, we'll hope that Amazon can bounce back and see what Adara's up to.
Keep an eye here on this small cap runner without a catalyst here. GLMD, Galmed has run in the past. It does have about a 1.3 million share float, so low float runner here. GLMD on watch today. And yes, in about 13 minutes, we will be getting some economic data, NAHB, housing market index, and business inventories. Back to the guys.
Oh, thank you, Randy.
Business inventories.
Oh,
thank you, Randy.
Oh, you got
yes,
the green
Randy.
one.
Yeah, I got the green one inside. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
It's probably fluke right there for St. Pat. Maybe some of these trades will turn lucky. We'll see.
Well, hopefully the market can hold up on this strength that it's got going on. Okay, QBTS, just quick update. QBTS, there's your
Hopefully
chart for
we
a second.
can hold on to this. I don't know.
Chart. There's your double bottom at 1020. Nice little higher low, but resistance at 70. So we're going to take some out in front of that and try to keep reloading in the high 40s and low 50s here on QBTS, which is D-Wave. If you're watching some of these quantities, QBTS is just was the biggest runner, I should say, but Rigetti's lost VWAP. It's now down 2% after gapping up. So they're under some pressure here, looking for the bounces off of support. Intel just bounced VWAP for a second time off 25.20 here. Technically got down to about 17s. Still 25.5 resistance, so going to put offers out in front and try and scalp this. It's just the strength that you see in the market. I'm going to quickly go to the Qs here for everybody. Like you're pulling back into prior tops on the Qs. Then you look over, NVIDIA is still going down. So a good thing to get out of 22. That VWAP selling was your only chance to get any good longs. And now we're headed to that 120 level here on NVIDIA. Meanwhile, you've got Marvell, you've got Intel showing some strength, and Broadcom, which was falling off of that news that Google was going to go elsewhere for AI chips, is holding Friday's highs. It's back into the red, but suddenly looking a little bit stronger. So I'm keeping an eye on Broadcom here. If it were to flush, I don't know how much I'd like more reloads over in Intel. And then the name that I wanted short, which we're not, unfortunately, is going to be Affirm. And Affirm is about to make a fresh low as we speak. Can't even get to VWAP, but now you got a flat bottom break, as I heard Sharif just say.
Yeah, Sharif excited
it's
about that.
underneath its local bottom. It's down 13.5% on the Klarna update.
Okay, so bless you. So we got out the only name that we were able to get out of because it was at VWAP here was some Palantir. So that on the way down. All right, so we did get something here on our better price for Amazon. I mean, we punched out of that first price there, but as we just kept dropping in, I guess the retail sales, again, not very strong, but I liked this 197. I just am surprised at such a strong move down. So if we wrote down 197, so we have to try it. We had, okay, here it goes. We had NVIDIA last week, and it's turning through, right? Okay, well, we'll wait. Here it comes, just a little bit of a bounce, but every bounce gets sold, right? Like that could have just gone, there it goes. That could have just gone right back up. So there it goes, breaking through 197 right there as the futures come hammering right back in. I think the only other name that we're going to trust that we haven't hit yet, for potential trust anyways, is this NVIDIA. So let's wait to see now what happens with NVDA down here at 120. Again, I like the stock down here. Let's just see. This was the resistance level that we had written down. So, oh man, where's my stop on this? 119.70s. So now it looks like we're going to take this out. 120. Like now down as the market. So some of these names just getting beat up right now, right? I mean, this is what the market's doing, getting hit pretty good now, as we can all clearly see. So I don't know, man, not much help here. More to come, I guess, on NVDA. 119.75 is our stop. We have a couple units, about 4 or 5 units here, so it's not a full position, but it's a decent one. Would really prefer this name to hold. So hopefully that can come in right now and give us that little hold. It just, yeah, we still got that name.
D-Wave.
D-Wave, yeah.
QBTS.
Qbert.
D-Wave just held that double bottom to make it a triple bottom now at prior high. So Friday's high is about 10 quarters. You now held a third time. Still sellers at 70, so should be south of 70 here, and try and get some out in front of that 1070 level. Trying to get some 65s right now. It's going to print 63 and 64, and there we go. So we just fell under 1070. I think now you can get the move into VWAP, which would be $11. So QBTS finally making a power move to the upside. And yeah, NVIDIA did hold that 120 level. You were already mentioning that. Hefty drop. That's a mean reversion, no questions asked. But what I want to see is Intel hold this VWAP a second time. It just wicked VWAP to close underneath. So finally, we're going to get a bit of an upside move and catch it on the upside instead of back on the bid. So Intel working, QBTS now working, almost at $11 now on QBTS.
Finally, I mean, we stick to our rules, and again, like, why can't we just stick to the rules a little more often? We should be able to do that, being a grown-ass adult, but at the same time, sometimes tough. There's 120, man, exactly what we wrote down. It is singing right now. Amazon's been it's not a huge losing trade, but it's a losing trade. Let me put on a little bit here on Amazon. I mean, we're already in it. 196. I don't necessarily want to play the very bottom, but I don't mind trying that. 196 right there, 90s. If we break back below that one, then let's get out. We'll try this because we wrote down initially here, guys, we had written down that we had liked that level down there at 197. But Neil, we're almost green again here. So despite all that action early on, it's NVIDIA, and it is an absolute monster going right into P&L number 1. And all we had to do was be patient with it. And I think we're doing better at that, but not great. So there it goes, falling right into 120. So all has been forgotten for you. NVIDIA. Palantir, oh wow, NVIDIA, okay. QBTS also trying to work out right now. So yeah, man, we're really pumping right now. Good trading here to start the morning. We did have a mistake though with Amazon, but let's see if we can right the wrongs and see if we can get a couple. See, right there, we just put an offer and it tanked on us right there. Damn you, Amazon. Okay, so far so good. Let's watch this NVIDIA. NVIDIA right now, boom, another Dollar Club winner. So we'll see if that can go through again. And then QBTS, we just took advantage of that as well. So, hey man, everything is good over here. We just need it to work out for us and hit those longs. So that's what's happening here. Good job. Thankfully, we were able to save our day with NVDA. Oh, that rhymes.
It does rhyme, but the thing I'm concerned about right now is going to be QBTS turning at VWAP there. Intel remains to be seen at VWAP, but QBTS is on the other side of it, the wrong side of VWAP. So it's trending down, and you've got a little bit of a bear flag forming. If it's a quadruple bottom, great, but I don't know if I want to reload it another time in here if it makes a fresh low. So there's your wick at 1090. I'm going to hold, see if it can hold that bottom, and see if we can't get something a little bit better than 11, but at this point, it's looking a little bit weak. Intel gave the fills at VWAP, gave us 25.3. Now it needs to hold at 25. I think you fill the gap into 24.5, if anything, on Intel. So able to work that one, be patient with it. We wanted the longs at 24. You never got it. Forget about, you can't worry about those prices when it's trending up like that. And then finally into Affirm at 44.5, as that's underneath VWAP. The Klarna news, Klarna getting an exclusive deal with Walmart for buy now, pay later. Obviously bad for Affirm, down 12%. I'm looking at this bottom here at 43. We'll take it out in front because this is, I mean, it's a 52-week low on Affirm. It's not a 52-week low. It's the local bottom on Affirm. It's not a 52-week low. This was made last week and it just broke it. So if you hold this, I think you have a decent chance at an SSR bounce. Oh. If I was flat, I'd be thinking SSR bounce from here. So if it can't hold underneath 44, we're going to jump out and wait for VWAP again at 45 even.
All right, good trades. Well, we held out pretty good on everything right now. So Palantir, nice move to the backside. We'll put some out here. Wow, we just offered 15. Okay, thank God it came back into us right there. So Palantir is $1.15 in the money. Nvidia is $1 in the money. Amazon, we're trying to let Amazon breathe here because we did take a hit on it. So we'll, man, all right, nice move up there for Amazon. So we're long back at 197. Again, if we just had to follow our rules, man, we wrote down here on the sticky note, and I think there's no better way to win than doing exactly this. Take notes, right? There's reasons why we wrote this down. Nvidia 120, Amazon 197. So why am I messing around? And QBTS at 1050, which right now has been holding, and that's been a great trade as well. So the sticky note will run its course today and be perfect. There it is, QBTS, 70s, right? We're long at 50s. That's what we talked about. We like that trade. Palantir, some more outs up here. We were chasing this one again early, but we knew we liked it, especially if this market did battle back. It's Amazon right now that we wrote down 197. So why are we getting long here? Why? Because it was the bottom of these wicks. We tried it. It did not work. There's the dump out, and here's the reload back at a level that we thought we trusted here. So I'm going to get some more outs, 33s, 34s, if we can bump back up. It's not a huge trade, but we'll take it for now. Amazon, does it have a chance to get back to 198? I believe it does. So we'll put some offers up there, 197, 75. If it can go, we'll try that. But still, getting sold, Amazon. Not a great stock for me today, AMZN. We want to make sure that NVIDIA can come out near the top as well. So we'll take some out. We're still waiting for 122 on that play. But yeah, Baba. Okay, Baba's mooning. I mean, I'm not on that one. We could check out. We did have some talk about Broadcom.
Yeah, Broadcom's still holding red, by the way.
Yeah, you said it might have gone green. Well, almost did.
It did go green.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It did go green, but then the second Broadcom got green, it essentially immediately failed it, and you're putting in a lower high. So this is a key point, 196. I think if Broadcom gets over 196, there really shouldn't be anything stopping the futures. It was what was driving us down early in the pre-market on that Google.
Oh, Amazon. On
that Google news. So right now, we're still in QBTS and Intel, but Affirm, they got a bad, I don't want to call it a bad trigger, but we took about a 40-cent win on Affirm as that trailed out. It's working back into VWAP. So it's done a mean reversion here and working back into VWAP. I'll wait for it to get to VWAP for another curl, and if it breaks VWAP, we wait for 47 again. So still Intel and D-Wave.
Oh boy.
Intel bouncing off VWAP as we speak, trying to get more out at the quarters and then reload it off of volume-weighted average prices. So looking very, very strong here. Market looking good. Yeah, I mean, I just really can't complain. I mean, the market is looking very, very strong. The only thing that's languishing that we haven't traded yet is Tesla, and even that's now back above VWAP. So down 2 points. Tesla looks like a pretty solid reversal. So if you like something long, I don't see any reason why you're not holding it as the market tries to regain those highs. And forget about it if Broadcom goes back into the green. I think it's collecting more longs at that point.
Yeah, Neil talking about holding longs there. That's pretty much exactly what we're doing over there, my friend. We've got $2 in the money. We've got Palantir is $1.70. NVIDIA is $1 in change. Amazon right now is 40 cents for the long. And the Quantum name right now, do something. Get going even more than this. We are only in the money 30 cents, but let's see if Quantum wants to really get going and make this one sing. All right, so Amazon, we'll still talk about more of these positions, obviously, as we go here, but Amazon right now doing pretty good, right? Doing yeoman's work here, trying to get back up there to the upside. We'll see if that one wants to continue to work. We just got some nice pieces out, 197.60 and so on. So just seeing about all of these trades. Look, some of them are falling apart a little bit here, right? So you got to make sure that we are able to watch out what's moving and what isn't. And right now, Palantir, it just came right back into some of these levels that we had seen in the past. So we are not ignoring these, man. 121.60, that could be the top. If you look at what we've been doing there, just a bunch of outs in this area. Look, I'd love for this thing to run, but yeah, right now, who knows? 55 cents in the money. Now, let's go Amazon. Amazon starting to go. Yes, sir, Sharif. This one's starting to get going to the upside again. 197.65. Here we go. And what did we write down? 197 long for Amazon. So far, so good there, man. Stick with what we should be doing. QBTS working. Palantir. We're about $2.50, $3 in the money so far on all of these plays. I think Marvell is a decent long in your own accounts. Again, it's been beat up real bad. Marvell, this could be a name that gets going 2.5% today and still making those moves higher.
AMD's up 4.
Yeah, AMD's crazy. I mean, look, as long as NVIDIA goes, man, NVIDIA is an absolute monster name for me today. So if this one can get going, oh boy. And there goes Amazon, dare I say, off the bottom. We'll see if we can get to 198, man. I mean, you know, from foe to friend real quick, man. Me and you, Bezos, I got you. I definitely got some packages. Yesterday I was trying to sleep in. My daughter went to play hockey at 7 o'clock, and I didn't go. I went the day before, and of course, Amazon guy at my door, 8 a.m., dog barking like mad. Adara with numbers.
We do in fact have numbers here. We're going to give you our happening now as well. NAHB housing market index lower than expected, 39 versus 42 expected. Business inventories month over month exactly in line with expectations, 0.3%. So lower than expected NAHB housing index in line here for business inventories. Market drifting a little bit lower here, initially poised to open lower, pushed to the upside off the open right now, though a little bit wavering. Of course, we have NVIDIA and a host of quantum names on watch today and throughout the week with the GTC 2025 conference. Quantum Day for this conference is going to be held on Thursday, March 20th. Tesla on watch, your TSLA chopping around a little bit right now. Red on the day, down about 2.5%, getting a price target decrease here from Mizuho, which still maintained an outperform rating. Last but not least, AFRM on watch here. Klarna, one of its competitors, who's also set to have an IPO soon, partnered with OnePay to exclusively offer installment loans at American Walmart locations. So AFRM pushing lower on this catalyst. Back to the guys.
Yeah, thanks, Adara.
So VWAP just got taken on to the upside on QBTS. That's D-Wave. I haven't really looked at any of the other ones. You're back above the $11 level, trend in, trend out. Hopefully here. So if we lose the trend underneath VWAP, I'm going to trail out of this. Forget about the low of the day or anything like that. Going to move that trail. I am back into Affirm, as you heard the story from Adara there on the Klarna news. So only looking short Affirm for now. It just got to not VWAP, but 44.5 again and cannot break out the $0.50 to even get to 45. So it just wicked the $0.50, jumped in, going to give these to the local high. So I'm only risking to this local top here on Affirm, which is about 44.6. Affirm down 12%. And yeah, it's not looking good. There's no better way. I can't really frame this. Affirm on the daily, you probably have to let this one settle down because it's a fresh low. But if you zoom it out far enough, $36, which we didn't do, or at least I didn't do, good level here at 36 if it does not hold on in the next couple of days. Because they did have a good earnings report if memory serves. I think they did well on their last earnings. And
Yeah, I don't think it was horrible.
it wasn't, but I mean, Walmart's Walmart. You know, like you don't want to. Yeah. You lose the deal with Walmart. It's like there's Walmart and there's Amazon. You know, it's you can't frame that as good. So QBTS holds on to VWAP.
Oh,
1140 was the prior high, the 52-week high on QBTS, and that's where this was holding. So if it does fail at 1140, that's an out, and then wait for VWAP to jump back into it. So that's going. Affirm's working. I mean, Intel's it's holding VWAP for now, trying to get back to that top, but so far so good. Can't really complain. The only thing it was a misstep was I liked NVIDIA at 122, but we kept
QB.
that one in the pocket. Got out right when it broke, and everything else has been fine.
Yeah, let's go QBTS. Good pickup down there, man. I mean, but we sat there, we reloaded this name again. So this is going to be a big one, big one there. QBTS as it continues to go, man. Palantir as well, trying to hold out near the tops. We need to reload into something. If there's anything else that you guys want us to talk about, man, I mean, this QBTS is really starting to be something special. And again, there it is. Let's just, Look, this is a saying, but like there's NVIDIA 120, there's Intel 24, we didn't get that. QBTS 1050, we got that one, right? So there it is right there. Amazon 197, that was a good trade. And then NVIDIA 120. We have another one right here, only 4 ideas. So, and then we had Palantir, which, are we going to be, yeah, so we'll be red on Palantir and on Amazon. So those 2 plays right now, we're gonna try to, again, it just fell back out, right? So hopefully we can get back in, but look at the market. This could be one of those situations where right now we actually look to potentially pick up the Qs on some of this weakness. So the TQQ, we can have a quick little look to see what that chart is all about right now. Yeah, there it is, man, dropping right into $62. I mean, this is probably an area where we could look long. The situation for me is that we are already very, very long. I'm not too worried about QBTS. We just got a good piece out up there. This will be a pretty top stock for us there. But at the end of the day, NVIDIA is going to be my number 1, and I don't mind reloading that down there if it gets into 120. But this TQQ trade is at a decent level of $62. We didn't write anything down, but this was a level from Friday as well. So we'll have to wait to see here. I'll buy some down here, and then we'll wait to see what happens at 62, put on a little bit more downside at $62. So 61.80 or so. He's at the White House because it's St. Patrick's Day. Donald Trump, the only Irish guy he could name was Conor McGregor, and he didn't even remember his name. So right there, 62 and change. Someone asked him over the weekend about St. Patrick's Day, and he says, oh, I love all the Irish. And then someone said, can you name an Irish person? And he said, that fighter guy with tattoos on his chest. So, but anyways, there it goes.
Well, it wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong, but I mean, yeah, I'm sure he knows more Irish than that, I would think. But anyways, I don't know. Put on the spot. Tough for that, but that's why I just heard Sharif talking about Connor. All right, so we're long the TQs right here, waiting out for 61.80 or so to drop out. That would be where we get stopped out on the TQs, waiting for a little bit more down here as well.
Yeah, the guy that I think about is the dude from Bosch, the TV show.
I don't know.
I forget his name. It's Titus something.
Oh, okay.
It's actually, you probably like the show.
Yeah.
So Intel's right back at the sell zone of 25.5, and this time, if it fails, there's about a, what does that look like? About a million? No, sorry, 100,000 shares on the offer of Intel here at the 25.5, but this is a local top. It needs to punch through it. You just go back out to like the 28th, the 3rd, whichever date that is. 25.5. Next stop, if it can break it, is 26.5. But if we fail this break again, because this is the second time, I'm jumping out and I'm getting back into VWAP. So waiting for VWAP made a lot of sense. It's just broken that top. So I'm going to move my stop at this point. If we lose 25.5 again, I get out and wait for VWAP. QBTS is holding trend. It's right at that prior 52-week high. We got out of Affirm, our short, at the low. It's still holding the pre-market lows there on Affirm as the market continues to climb higher and higher and higher. QBTS, there's that 1040 level, sorry, 1140, 1141 prior 52-week high. I said if we curl here and break trend, I'm jumping out and waiting for the next entry point. So there's the trend on the higher low. If we lose, it'll be like 1120. I'll jump out and look for a re-entry here on QBTS. D-Wave looking very good. It's just Tesla down 3%, not looking very strong yet. I'd like to see that join this party a little bit more because I thought I'd be trading a little bit of Tesla today. And that dropped just way too harshly at the open for us to get involved. So far, so good. I mean, NVIDIA flat, Intel up, Affirm up, QBTS up. No trades in Tesla yet, though.
Holy shit, guys. Right there, let's go, man. The TQs, there's the futures, man. We are cooking it up one more time. I mean, there it is. We talked about buying that bottom there. Huge move up there. Right back, got half back on the day. So that was a great one for us to get out. I mean, and again, we're kind of trying to do something similar to what we were doing last week. And that was trying to scalp out these big wins, make sure that, hey, we can have something on for that party. We took $10, $11 on some Tesla trades last week. I mean, we're still here. We're doing all the stuff that we normally do. But right now, Quantum is just 75 cents in the money. That's a banger. The QBTS is 50 handles in the money. Palantir is $1 in the money. NVIDIA Neil's $1 in the money. So right now, man, we have about $350 or so right now on all of these trades as we just continue to go. And I mean, for me, one of the biggest trades obviously, as we've written this down again, was QBTS down there at 1050. So this is going to be a big, big day for that trade as we get up to 1125. Trying to show that, look, we have a lot of capabilities over here. Quantum names, futures, Mag 7s, and it just, there we go. I'm going to get another thing out on the futures here. This is a monster trade, man. This will go right up into the top of the board here for us. So let's go. There we go. Got some 50s out. I'm just trying to piece some out here. We did bounce off VWAP. When you go VWAP back into the 50-period moving average, even if we just look at the NASDAQ, you know, those are good outs. And look at that, we just come right back in again. So that's, we just talked about piecing some of these out, right? So I feel good about doing that now. Trying to scalp out, trying to make sure that some of these winners stay in yield portfolio. And that's so far so good of what we've been doing. Good sort of risk management today, and good, you know, making sure that we keep a lot of these names at profitable levels, and including getting some out when we pop, and then even getting some out when we drop. So TQs could go red. I don't know if this drops through. We're still waiting for 6180 to break. If that breaks, then we'll get out. But we are trying to scalp out a little bit more here, as we've noticed that it is dropping in just a little bit. But there it goes, man. We'll take 30 handles. So good. Okay. Right back up to the highs again. We'll offer another piece out. We're getting like out 5% every time on this one, as again, you know, pretty good day. Over here, Reddit's 122. Okay, so Reddit got downgraded today. This is a name that I was looking to pick up on some weakness, so potentially on the midday there, we'll look at some Reddit, because I think this one at the 50-period moving average, sorry, the 200-period moving average is definitely something. That's 110, so we're still a ways from there. But
the other thing too is
to start as an early position. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I didn't even mention this. You know, I'm going to get to Netflix in a quick second. First, QBT has just lost view up. Remember I said prior 52-week high, $11.41. That's $11.40 on the daily. There's $11.40 in the pre-market. It got right to $11.40, and then there's your reversal. So I'm out. I think we can get another shot at this if it gets down to the $10.25 level, because that's where it held the double bottom, wait for the double bottom, then take the high low. Now you're really starting to come in on QBTS. That just lost 50 cents very quickly, but that's what happens when it breaks that trend. I was never looking short it, hindsight being 2020. The prior high, I'm going to look for an out on Intel. If we lose the prior high here on Intel at 25.65, that one bouncing nicely off VWAP, but that's all we can get up to 7%. The longs that we liked were down here, ideally on Intel. Don't want to be chasing this move too far. So we're only looking for VWAP bounces on Intel, and then every even dollar is going to matter to me. The other name that we've been trading, Affirm, actually eventually broke the low there. So the market holding green, and Affirm actually broke the low of the day. We jumped out, essentially taking about 90 pennies on Affirm, but continuing to go lower is that name. So QBTS looks like we got out just at the right moment, and we might get another chance at that $10 here. Essentially, it's just all the same thing, like prior day highs. Pull back in a prior day high, let it bounce, and see how far it can go. It was Netflix I wanted to point out there. If this will load up in a quick little second, Netflix showing a tremendous amount of strength. We've been talking about a lot of chip names today, and rightfully so. Netflix double top, 4% up. Not really sure if there's a catalyst. It's also regained the 50-period moving average, but whatever it's doing it well here over on Netflix. So I do like that name. And then Broadcom, which we should be tracking, because this was dragging the market down to a certain extent. In the pre-market, it's still holding some higher lows, but has yet to go green. I still believe Broadcom going green is going to be fantastic for this market. 26 almost inbound on Intel now.
26, yeah, I'm going to sell. I have Intel long at 1980. I will be getting out of some Intel at lunch there. Too much money left on the table last time that happened. Neil, glad you're back, man. We continue to run the board here with the futures. Huge move right there. Back in, good trade on Affirm, taking 90 cents. We're in 70 handles right now on the TQQs. As there it goes, man, buying that dip right in and holding it pretty much all the way back up. So this name continues to work out for us. NVIDIA, again, not really moving. Let's get some out here at 7s. Did we just get that? Yes, we did. So nice little out there at 7. We could, I'm going to get some more out there. I just punched out some more once we broke through. Looking at this name, it's like not good, right? We talked about what was going on with Intel. We talked about a little bit about, anyways, what was going on with NVIDIA and, AMD. And it's not happening right now for NVDA into their GTC week. I mean, this is the thing. It's sell the news, I guess. This start of this week is a big week for NVIDIA, and it looks like all the others may be getting that bump up. New CEO, of course. Boom, there it goes. Look at this, stair-stepped it up. Great call on VWAP, of course. I heard Neil mention that because any kind of a pullback, whenever you get a stock that looks like it had earnings, which today Intel was trying to gap up, right there, pull back into VWAP, we like it.
You got to pay lip service to that VWAP on Intel.
Yes. We've been a good one. We've been talking
for that one.
Okay, good. Yeah, well, you nailed it. That was a good one right there. Paying lip service to Intel. I like that one, Neil. All right, but Lip Bhutan looking to make some moves. That is for sure. And yeah, it looks like they will get exactly that.
There's a lot you can do with that name.
There it goes, man. Intel's still climbing. Hey, look, we're just like banging these trades today, guys. Honestly, Palantir, Intel, QBTS, everything just continues to go. And it's going to be a big day. We'll have a couple red names for sure. We have Amazon red at 197. That's too bad. That goes down to 196. It looks like we'll miss that name by $1. And other than that, though, pretty good. Like, can't be too upset. NVIDIA's going to be a huge stock for me. We're up more on NVIDIA than we lost on Amazon. So, if we're going to play Mag 7, I don't know. I was going to think of like a game show here where you just choose which one, but we should have just chose NVIDIA. Yeah, I don't know. Now, Plinko, yeah, we dropped it down in, and it looks like the 10,000 coin there, Plinko chip was NVIDIA. So there it goes, man. Nice move to the downside. We're doing well. It's just we did have to figure out Palantir for a minute there early as well. We were dropped out of it. We dropped out of Amazon early. Look, out of all of that, man, it's 10:15 right now, and we are positive. So we can't complain. It's been a good day. We should be a little bit higher, but we did have some of those mistakes early. SMCI also, Neil, dropping into 41. So that was a level there.
41? What? Oh,
yeah, that I knew some people were looking at, and I should have been there. We should have been there trying to buy that. I don't think it's too late to do that right now. I am struggling trying to get out of some of that Amazon, but out of that NVIDIA. But as we can clearly see actually right now, that's bouncing nicely off of that level. And then the futures, man. Oh, baby, the futures right now are making them, couldn't be happier with that take. We were struggling there early with some of those too longs, but we stay in the game, and the game has been a friendly one there today for sure. So nice move back on the futures. I think we found where our bread is buttered, man, and that's going to be in the futures pits. We've been really crushing some of these plays lately, so we'll stay there. We'll stay true to the Mag 7 and all these names, and specifically the quantum names today, as they've been on watch. I mean, Rigetti, I know both you and I were in QBTS, but Rigetti's actually going the other way. So that's giving a little bit of worrisome there. Remember,
like to sell the news kind of because of the...
yeah, that's why I'm surprised that Quantum's not really... I mean, this name is still up 7%. And again, bigger short float. It was 34%. I could double check Rigetti's, but this was a big short float. So definitely something to watch out for as the future's now starting to pull back. But that's okay. We've got some pretty good spots here.
I just covered on Intel. It broke that 26 and it just wicked the top here. So that long, if we get VWAP again, I don't see any reason to get away from it. If you're going to chase a move, I'm not going to. Obviously, it's stair-stepping it to the upside. The prior high held and broke out. It held VWAP. It just broke the trend with a wick of 26. Right now, it would be 24 third, let's call it. And the other place to look for a bounce would be just the opening range high, like this little 25-65 area. So now I'm going to play a dip for a re-entry on Intel. I would like to get maybe back into Affirm if it can continue its trend as well. So Affirm worked at VWAP once, or at least close enough to it. I don't see a reason to get away from that. Now you're like 10-15, so you want to be a little bit more patient with that name. And then QBTS, that got to that 1140 level, covered on trend. It might hold VWAP here. And if it can get back above VWAP, might look for a different long setup here on QBTS. But so far, going to stick with the names that have worked for us because they've all been relatively clean, especially Intel. And then I saw, and shout out to Will in the chat, you were just mentioning Alibaba up 3.5%. This is also respecting VWAP. So if you're looking for relative strength, which I would rather do here, I think that's the first place you go. Got to point out the daily chart on Alibaba.
Yeah.
Somebody somebody been selling 145, 146 up in here. So it's been a bit of a trouble spot for Alibaba up at these highs. Ideally, you just break out 150 one day. That's just a bad wick. It's actually 140, like where we are right now is effectively these highs, the 146. So if it can hold above 46, I think you like it. Underneath it, wouldn't want to touch that with a 10-foot pull, because if it's losing 146, that's the big level on the daily. So I don't even like a VWAP bounce in here. I want to see it hold the top end of the range on Alibaba. It's going to be about Intel next, ideally, and that gives us a shot at VWAP or maybe a short back into Affirm. What's NVIDIA doing? Let me double check NVIDIA.
It's coming back in.
It's just coming back in. I'm going to look for more strength. If I find another chip long and it's not Intel, it might have to be AMD, because AMD's respecting VWAP. It's already bounced it once, and it'll get there before Intel does. So AMD is, what, 60 cents away from VWAP? I think this tests VWAP before Intel does, and I'm going to throw that one up on the chart that had NVIDIA, because NVIDIA is not doing what I want.
Yeah, no, good look there. I like to talk there about Alibaba. We haven't looked at too many Chinese names, so good look over there, Mr. Roberts. Yeah, I think Alibaba's at a good sell spot for sure. If it, you know, again, just had such a nice run, and I just think the market goes through ebbs and flows, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's like what is hot. Yeah, write that down on your iPad. What is hot today? You know, could take a breather in the next couple of weeks and vice versa. We've seen sort of a bounce back in some of these Mag 7s over the last couple of days. So I could see some money coming out of some of the Chinese names, flowing back and forth into some US names. And again, I think this is all tariff related, so we'll have to wait for it. All right, man, here we go. Adara likes SMCI, calls it SMICI. I haven't heard her trade that in a while, but we're right back into $41 again right now. So 41 for SMCI. Now that I look at this base that we're making, I think it's worth a little bit of a long down here if we wanted to try that at 41. But I can clearly see, man, there's bar-coded areas at 40.80. So now that we've made it this far down, okay, let's go, man. The futures are starting to go back upside. We took a little bit off right there, but we are really cruising right now and loving life a little bit here. Well, we always are, but on the day, it's been so far so good. SMCI, we should have pulled the trigger one more time right there, but we did not. A name, Neil, that we talked about a couple times last week, because it was a new position, so maybe self-fulfilling here, was JP Morgan. I thought that in the banks, you know, we did have a big sort of crushed opportunity there. And then now with, what was it, Klarna and some of these other names looking like they want to start to come to market. We do have Pepsi, by the way, bought out Poppy this morning, which is that soda company there. My kids are loving Poppy.
Oh, yeah?
By the way, yeah, it's like, it's a new kind of sugarless. So Pop, basically from what I've heard now, and it's funny that Pepsi did this because I was talking to Marissa about it. It's really all the rage now, making your own soda drinks and getting cool flavors and stuff like that. So apparently there's some restaurants and everything in the States that are really pushing this. I don't know any way to invest in it, but Poppy right there, P-O-P-P-I.
I used to like doing mud water. Is that what they called it?
They got bought out today.
Isn't that what you call it, mud water?
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
do
exactly.
every single one of the sodas.
Yeah.
Swamp water. That's what
swamp water. Yeah, I
used to do it.
I used to do that all the time. Now when my kids do it, well, McDonald's still has it. Most of them don't have the self-fulfilling. Yeah, exactly. So we all like, the swamp water. You get like a little bit of iced tea, a little bit of Sprite, a little bit of sugar. My kid asked me the other day, actually, shout out to Adara, because she's 7-Eleven country over there with Winnipeg. But my kid was like, we're going to go get Slurpees. I was like, nah, we're not going to go get Slurpees, but eventually I'll probably get them a Slurpee. You know, you got to live your life while you are young. And
there's a lot of sugar.
Yeah, whatever, man. My kids are definitely able to do that. They started their CrossFit. They're really excited about that. All right, Adara's over there, man. It's 10:22. Let's go get an update.
This is the IWM here, actually looking quite great from a technical standpoint. Not only are we forming a little bit of support around those highs of days there on Friday, but also it looks like we're poised to continue that and push to the upside. Good look for IWM back above $200. This is CRVO. This one has really been quite the name as of late. No new catalyst today, but this is just a continuation small cap play here. Next up here, this ticker is going to be QMCO. This is a quantum adjacent name. It actually does not work in quantum, but because it has the word quantum in its name, Quantum Corp tends to run adjacent to these quantum tickers with a 25% short float. Last but not least here, MGRM here, Monogram Technologies, trading higher here, receiving some FDA clearance. So MGRM, LAZR is also on watch with a 29% short float, guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much there, Adara. Well, AMD just broke the high of the day, so that's not coming back in. Intel continues to churn. That's just chilling out where we got out at 26. It's holding the top end of the range. I don't want to buy tops at 1020. I want to look for like reasonable dip buys at this point. So just going to have to be patient with that. QBTS is putting in, I mean, it's more of a wedge than anything else. I don't want to say it's a lower high, but it's still a higher low. As far as I'm concerned, it still has a chance to hold its trend. But we'd like to either get it holding above VWAP or just reload it where it got the bottom
stop over here?
Before. Tesla is still incredibly weak. I don't know what to tell you. If you're a Tesla bull, you can pretty much forget about it at this point. Like you're just trending down after that initial pop. There's nothing good about Tesla. It must be a short somewhere, and I haven't been able to pick it out because we liked it up at like 250 to 252, and it's underneath Friday's lows again. Maybe we'll get something at VWAP on that name. See people talking about Palantir, but the other one there, and I know we mentioned Alibaba, Baidu had a headline this morning, AI headline as well, and they're up 5 points along with Alibaba. The difference between Baba and Baidu is Baidu's not at its local high, whereas Baba's already testing it. Baidu has a little bit of room, like maybe a buck or two, till it gets into this 100 level where there's resistance. So if you're in those two names, I think there's a little bit more room for Baba. Daily fix. Ooh, here we go. Intel is on news. War on shorts. More news to come. Appreciate you, Daily Fix. We appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much for that. I don't care what you call it. It's one of the strongest movers out here today. On a 15-minute chart, that looks pretty darn good. I'm just looking for some kind of a dip entry. This happened to be VWAP when it did a single red candle on the 15. Puts another one in. I want to look to go long again on Intel. It's breaking out. No fans or buts about it. I know AMD's breaking as well. It's just a very different pattern. Like Intel's was a bigger move, so I'd like to get into that. But AMD, next dip, it's just holding higher lows. Either one of these two is going to be the next trade for me to the long side. And Tesla, the second I say maybe we short the next pop on Tesla, what do you think happened? Tesla just broke $1 down, but I'm like, okay, let's just short it if it breaks $1 up because that's VWAP, and then it breaks another leg down. So of course, Tesla not caring and breaking itself, as you just mentioned. I got to get into one of these names again. Affirm's diddling in the middle here of the range, not at the low of the day, not at VWAP, so no need to get back into that one. At this point, don't want to throw anything away from this morning, but I think we're going to get some dips. The way the futures are going, I think we're going to get an AMD dip. Ideally, that's the first one because Intel is $1 from 2% away from VWAP. I think AMD has a better chance of getting there.
So I feel like there has to be something on Palantir. I mean, Palantir is dropping real aggressive. We didn't because the Spidey senses are up. If this drops below 86, like we're not, okay, here it comes. I'll try a little bit more. We're only in this name at 86.38. So here it comes in. We're going to drop this out if it breaks, 90s. So almost right there. Do we get like a little love back upside right now? That would be nice to do that. We'll take an opportunity to get some out in the teens here on on Palantir. We were waiting at 13s. Oh, it just went to 12s right there. We'll see if we can get it. Do we not get any? Oh, no, we didn't get anything out there. Darn it. Okay, there it is. No, that's a different stock. All right, so we'll wait. No, that was Palantir. All right, so here we go. Let's just wait to see just a little bit back and forth, a little bit surprised. We'll get some out now. Okay, Well, now we're going to win on it for some reason. So we are just mad at ourselves for averaging in on that one. But there goes Palantir back to the upside here. Let's see if it wants to go. I have no idea what that dip was all about, but I don't trust it. So, we got very, very close to getting out. We're long now at 25s. I know it's not great, but let's just lick our wounds a little bit here as we've made a decent comeback today. After shorting, like I said, we went long on Amazon. We went long on Palantir early. Both didn't work out, but we were able to be creative, get back. We had some money in the queues, and we still do have some money in the queues. What am I talking about? We are almost out of this one, though. We have less than 10% left. We have about 7% left of this trade as it comes back in. And honestly, I don't know if I I have another bid down here? I do not. So I'm going to let this market just settle down. 61.80 was a stop. So I think we'll try 62 again down here on the TQs. So as I say, I don't have another bid. I mean, we have a bid. It's just a lot lower. So we'll put a bid at 62 and change. See if that holds down here. I think, okay, there goes NVIDIA. So we'll give some back on NVIDIA, but we tried 120 again, and there it goes back down through. So I think we did pretty good. Palantir also dropped out. So the reloads on the long right now as the market comes back in, no good on those. So we'll continue being red on Palantir. We tried to give it a go there. It just didn't work out. And then NVIDIA, we didn't give much back. But there goes the drop back in as the short right now. People were mentioning that, man. Just try to stay short despite what we think about this market.
You got to find something. The thing is, some of these names are so far. The weak names are at bottoms. It's like, well, what do you want to do? Like, I just jumped back into not VWAP, but there's a seller on Affirm at 43.5. So before it was 44.5. Now there's a seller at the $0.50 here, so I jumped underneath. If it breaks this, I'm not holding it to VWAP. VWAP's like $1 change away. So if we break the local high, we'll get out. But in terms of joining something short, I'm just shaking my head. Tesla just dropped another like rather hefty leg to the downside in here. So I got back into Affirm because Affirm was the one short we had that worked, and it showed me a level, so we were able to get back into it. But Tesla, patiently waiting for a setup. Sometimes it's the right thing to do. You could have just shorted any price you wanted on Tesla and not really cared about the consequences, and it would have been fine once it broke 241. So this one is headed down. I do still think AMD gives us a chance off of VWAP here. It's now at the 105 half level, so it's about to make its test of VWAP any second now, or at least in the next couple of minutes. So I expect if we get a test and any kind of a bounce off VWAP, I'm going long on AMD until proven otherwise. It's just Affirm is the only thing we got back in. I just saw Showtime just said booby traps engage.
Okay.
You got to be a little more specific than that in terms of booby traps. But yeah, let's get a crypto update from Madeira. Spoiler alert, Bitcoin is not up.
Okay.
Bitcoin continuing here, this pretty epic descent here, rounded top. Now we're continuing to these lower highs, lower lows. Yesterday, we seemed like we were poised for a little bit of a reprieve. This nice bounce here off of that 76,000 area. Sharif this morning was talking about how Bitcoin has a lot of support in the mid 70,000s. Fortunately, though, as of right now, pushing a bit lower. Some crypto tickers, including MSTR, are actually at their day's lows. It's worth noting as well, reading this Bloomberg article, apparently U.S. Bitcoin ETFs have lost $5.5 billion in 5 weeks. That is the longest losing streak for these ETFs since their inception last year. It's worth noting overall crypto ETFs, apparently, from what I was reading, lost just over $6 billion. So lots of losses here, lots of outflow with regards to these ETFs over the last week as crypto continues to be a bit weaker. Bitcoin technically still about flat on the day here. Ethereum up about 0.5%. We have XRP up about almost 2%. BNB doing great here, up about 6%. Dogecoin 2, Cardano almost 3. So really mixed performance here, as we've seen quite a bit now for these crypto tickers. Worth noting, though, Solana is red on the day. And make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Back to you.
Yeah, Solana. I only really like Bitcoin right now. I don't know. I have some ADA. You guys
Same boat.
I have some Cardano, but
it's all about the big boy.
Yeah,
what do you like? What do I like in a bit of a bear run on crypto? I'm gonna like Bitcoin, and
let's go.
That's pretty much it. Doesn't mean to each their own. I just try to keep it simple. I haven't really looked at MSTR or anything in the like this morning because I think it's been about the chips. First thing first, AMD's at VWAP, so we're into it for the first time today. I said it would get there before Intel did. Tight stop and a wick out on Affirm. Remember, it's $1 from VWAP, so if I'm going to short it at that level, the second it showed any kind of a break, I'm just jumping out and waiting for a chance to get it where we like it a little bit better at 44.5. On that name, Intel, if AMD is going to get there, Intel now breaking away from 26. So this is the first hefty dip in Intel since, what was this, at about 950 or so when it bounced off VWAP. 25.5, kind of the target area to look for a continuation long on Intel. Is, yeah, the market's trying its best. The NASDAQ just held green. Yeah. It's underneath VWAP, but it just held sort of red to green and right around those Friday highs. So you're still managing to hold out some slight upward trending, but you're underneath VWAP, so I got to be careful. I want to make sure that I'm not long stocks that I think are a little bit relatively weak. And yeah, Tesla, I don't know what to tell you guys. It's making another bounce here. I think if it can get to just underneath 240, that might be a spot because VWAP's a little far away to try to jump into that short on TSLA. But right now we're long NVIDIA, AMD in front of VWAP, and Intel might be our chance to get it with the market coming back in here. 25.5 is about where VWAP is on that name. But yeah, gotta be patient here with that Tesla. It's a trap, Tim says. Everything seems like a trap, but you just have to be patient waiting for the right levels. NVIDIA to me was
Spring the trap.
This was a trap. It looked strong. It was the strongest chip name. It tried to hold the prior day highs. Hindsight being 2020, I guess when it lost the prior high, that could have been a short. But I wasn't looking short on NVIDIA. The best I can do is just get out of the trade when it loses my level. So if AMD does the same thing up here at VWAP on this trend, then I jump out of it. And it might even be a reversal, actually, on AMD. Got to look at that daily chart. The thing about AMD is it's actually breaking out of this trend line on the daily. Which it's done it before, but it wicks it and then comes back in. This is one of the stronger breaks on AMD. So this is worth watching the next couple of days because I think the second it shows enough strength, a move into 140 makes some sense to me, the 200-period moving average. But it's wicked this before on AMD multiple times. And this has been going on since October of last year.
All right, we're going to put an offer at 86.20 here on. We didn't get our ultimate low on Palantir, waiting to get this low right here, 85.20s. But we're back into 85.50. We just got a bunch. We not a bunch out. You can see we're not up on Palantir. Someone asked if we were. This last trade was flat. We were able to get some decent moves out. But right now we had just bought this dip right here, 85.50. There's an 85.77. There's an 85.90 or so. So we're like. Again, but we're only out of 20%. Each one of those is only 10%. So if we continue to fall down in, then yeah, we do have to get hit on that play. We did reload the futures down here as well as we got stopped out and bought it right back. Didn't realize we didn't have the right stop. Should have been a little bit lower down there. We got stopped out at 61.80. Looks like the stop should have been 61.70. So that's where I'm sitting right now. So we're taking basically 10 handles worth of risk. We're now in the money 25 handles. So let's take out some more here at 02 if we're able to get it. That's been our best out on this play recently. We did get a nice bump back up into 10s, but right now you can see the market is trying to fade out. QBTS still underneath 11. I mean, that one's going to have to go. All right, you've been looking at Affirm. Okay, so SMCI does hold that level again. If there's any, what else you guys want to look at right over here, man? Bonds going up. Yeah, Celsius holding. Yeah, Celsius.
Merging with Pepsi, you think?
No, probably not. The thing is, Pepsi did buy Poppy, so we already talked about that a little bit there. Not a public name, but if Celsius is merging, that could be fine as well. A big name. There's $40.80. We talked about that on SMCI. Looks like that wants to hold down there as the bottom. It's only 10.36 right now.
CLH is strong today, though.
Yeah,
I think it's just up on sympathy.
Probably up on that play, so that would make sense there. So, yeah, all right. Palantir, guys, we dropped below $85. We're out of this one, so that's going to be our next point of concern right now. We'll try to go long in the teens, and then that's it, man. Give this one 20 cents. If it loses it, it loses it, because Palantir just basically coming in like nobody's. There it is. Look at this. There it is. Did it even break there? I don't know, but there it comes in. So one more time, man, our worst stock today is Palantir, and we keep on trying to catch those bottoms. Doesn't look like there's a bottom in, though, for PLTR. So see you later. Well, as the whole futures are losing everything.
Yeah, the second you said that AMD lost its local bottom in view. So we'll slap the loss on AMD. It was the last one that we waited for it to pull back into view up like before, but it just lost a bid there. So unfortunately, we'll slap an L on that. It doesn't necessarily mean Intel's done. It's still up 7%, but it's still, I mean, what are we, we're still 1% away on Intel from it getting down into VWAP. So let it fall at this point. I'm guessing, I just heard in the back, get to VWAP. So that's a 99% chance that Obi took this reversion, I'm going to guess, because he's the only person back there. And there's a double top and a trend break on Intel at 26. I think that can get to that 25.5. That's where I'm looking for the bounce here. And then QBTS, haven't made a trade in QBTS since it got to that bottom, and it's trending right back down to that low. So the entry that I want would be hold that low, break this little trend that it's got. So lower highs here on QBTS, either we get back into the bottom or we break that trend. That's the only way I'm getting in. I just got out of AMD and showed you guys that out. I guess it's taking a second to refresh, but that lost VWAP, so I'm out of AMD for sure. That's no longer a position for myself. I see people talking about Reddit as well. I know you were mentioning that at the 122. You just got to be careful picking your bottoms. Ooh, bit of a spread here on Reddit. That's spready.
Yeah.
Daryl probably likes this name. I just saw like a 30-cent spread on this stock and bouncing off the 120 level. The thing is, that bounce here, that 60 cents, half of that is just the spread of the stock on a bounce. So not really much of a bid yet. You just got to be patient, wait for intel here. That was about as clean as it gets off VWAP the first time. So we'll just look for a similar setup. I don't even think I was that patient on VWAP. I got it on the front end of that move. Could have had all the same fills when it bounced, actually giving you the wick bottom. So allow it to do the same move for us in here and try again. Doug asking about Apple. Apple wasn't on my radar this morning. You got to pick and choose the names that you like.
Was it up?
What happened?
Apple's been doing
I
great.
hit enter. No, I hit it twice. All right,
As
there we
of
go.
late.
No, it's a big fail on Apple.
Oh,
today.
okay. No, that's okay.
Okay, well, fail of the breakout of the high.
Right.
But it's not really doing a heck of a lot. But like a very clean breakout trade that failed underneath at 214 on Apple. And I don't necessarily love this one underneath the 50 period, the 200 period moving average. You're failing Friday's high on Apple as well. That might be a stair step to the downside. Intel's the one I want long. It's holding strength. It's up 7%. Can't even get to VWAP at this point. Did I miss a call to Adara?
I don't think so.
I don't
think
know.
We're okay.
I don't think so. I think we're good.
Yeah, we're okay. All right, so 85, 71s or so here. We're going to try. So Palantir has just ripped up against us. Right now, it looks like it does want to stop out if we break through the 70s. A very, very aggressive play off the bottom. We got stopped out. We were trying the short right now. It looks like we'll get stopped out again right now on Palantir as that's continuing higher as the futures do bounce off of those levels. So, all right, let's go find out what Adara's up to at the green screen.
It's interesting, I think, a lot of the names that immediately look red compared to the rest of the market are going to be in that Mag 7 or big tech space. Broadcom, Nvidia, Meta, Amazon, Tesla here as well. But a lot of the other names that are not these Mag 7 tickers are doing incredibly well. These sectors really reflecting that here. Utilities, with the exception of NEE, nicely up on the day. Consumer non-durables being led by PG. We mentioned Pepsi as well with that acquisition pushing higher. Health technology looking great. Finance, consumer services, producer manufacturing, commercial services, any retail trade-in that isn't Amazon looking pretty good as well. And within electronic technology and tech services, like once again, we're seeing non-Mag 7 names really step up to the plate. Netflix, Oracle looking great here in technology services. And of course, AMD actually looking quite nicely here in electronic technology, even though Nvidia was really expected to be the star of the week with their GTC 2025 conference, guys.
Yeah, I mean, my number one name is still going to be Nvidia. And yeah, oh, wow, bounced off 120 again. Okay, well, that's where we're at. I mean, bouncing off, I don't think that's accurate. It's down to 119.50 was the low. So we did not play with fire on this one, man. I mean, good call out there because of the week that they're going to have, and maybe there's something there. But AMD, Intel, Broadcom, I mean, Broadcom off that bottom was monstrous, right? I mean, well, it's come back in a little bit now, but that's 187. Oh, yeah, we talked, oh, yeah, that's right, because I got frustrated on this chart in the first show. There it is right there. So we were talking about if it got into some of these wicks, it's making that little bottom wick again there today. There's definitely strength in Broadcom. I mean, I just look at like these bottom wicks, but blast up to the upside. You can sort of see here with the selling, you don't have as many, but that's because we did have some pretty aggressive plays last week to the downside. So we'll see if Broadcom can hold, and last week's levels were 190 that held. So it looks like today you do get that little bit of a gift down there into 187. I feel like if you caught that, good for you. You may just want to hold on to Broadcom. I mean, that's not good news, man. Losing that bid to some Taiwanese company and Google saying pass, and still okay, up 1.57%, or down, sorry. But we don't even have really negative news for Nvidia, and they're the same mark. So yeah,
I guess it's just.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
With Nvidia, you have to guess that it's just they have the event and they're selling the news because I don't know. Like they got their AI
maybe
event
just
thing,
'cause, yeah.
and one of those, they're just going to sell it off because you have the event starting, and it rallied into it on Friday. So we're not. It's not at VWAP on Intel, but it just did a hold of. Oh, it's fixed. There we go. Position board was wrong
okay,
for a
good.
second, but it is fixed now. It just did a hold of the prior low, which is 25 or prior high 25.64, the opening range
Wow,
top.
back to 86.
Just did a nice little wick there, so I just got long just in front of 75, and I'll give it to that prior high. So if it breaks that, we'll wait for VWAP. But if you're going to consolidate off the prior high, that'll work as well for Intel. Looking very strong. Tom Anthony's saying, look at MSTR.
Leave that bounced up.
But every time I look at Bitcoin, it's not moving.
83,000.
So if Bitcoin's not doing much, but MSTR actually was moving quite a bit, trending back to the upside at least now. I'm just not very bullish on this name. And I know I say this every single time, but it's like, look at what it's been doing since just right in here. It was like January, like late January. You lost the 50 period. Look at all the resistance anytime it gets close to it. Would I want to be buying this thing up at the top? No, let it break back out the 50 period. It's almost like sell it every chance it gets close to the 50 period and then look away. But MSTR, right now, I guess VWAP if you wanted to trade it. I'm going to stay away from that bad boy. The other name that we're looking to get back into is QBTS. It hasn't really gotten back into that prior high from Friday for a second salvo at it. Still worth trending. It's still trending down. The market's starting to come back though. And the other way I wanted to get in would be there is consecutive lower highs, break this trend, and then just look for a long in here off like a 1080 break on QBTS, or D-Wave, I should say. So if this one can break this little trend, just sort of connecting the dots since the open or the lines in the chart, and we'll look for a bit of a break of this trend for a long in QBTS. But not much happening, on this name since that initial pop that you got dropped, gave you the pop. It's just been trending down since. So I want to make sure it's breaking that trend before we get back into it. Patience, patience, patience. It's still up on the day, obviously, but there's a difference between something which is trending up and something which is trending down. Let's see if Intel can hold it. NASDAQ's at VWAP, though. This is a pretty big point. The NASDAQ loses VWAP. I got to look for a short somewhere because we've only been in Affirm. It worked, but that's the only short we had. I feel like Tesla is the missed opportunity. Yeah. And that could be at VWAP the same time NASDAQ is testing it here.
All right. So we did basically exactly that. We were testing VWAP up here on the TQs. So we got stopped out at the very bottom. We're still up on this stock. It's still going to be my #1 stock. Did we just get a bid down there? Yes, we did. So there it is, man. We just went short at 31s, and we just got right at the bottom. Oh, here, I can zoom in a little bit. Right at the bottom there, what is that? 62.10. So a good fill there for us. Let's see if it continues lower. I'm going to take another fill at 13s if we can get it. Another 5%. Oh, we just missed it. Oh, maybe we'll get it. But at the end of the day, nice little retracement back in. We got more than the 200 period. There we go. We got, did we just get 10s again? Yeah. So now we'll see if we can play back. I mean, that stop out sucks. We will see if we can get something else down here, 61.85. I think that's worth putting a bid at least down there. So we'll see if we can get something down there, 61.80s, and let that continue to work out for us. Maybe I'll put another 5% at 62.03s just to get out ahead of that little wick down there and see if we can support those prices. I don't think it really matters, though. I mean, when we look at TQs, specific prices, I mean, we're really looking at the NASDAQ. This is a triple levered, so if you think the NASDAQ can get back down into here, it'll chart the same as the TQs. So I would say just use charting as your levels. You don't have to say like, okay, it's an option eligible price or anything like that. Most people won't trade TQs like that. So we'll wait to see what goes on there. We do have, we'll talk about this when we get back from 10:50. We have our What's for Lunch segment. Now that we get those every single day, we'll be able to cover that. Google still downside again, another name that, we've liked for the long side of things, but not really today, down 0.4 as right now Google, I think, looking back, I think this is going to wind up being a great price for Google. It's just, cheap. You got to get into it first, right? I mean, I just don't know if we want to buy that falling knife, but I feel like it's maybe leveled off. We'll wait for 165, like the play there for Google. All right, the TQs have come all the way back upside now, which is fine. I mean, QBTS is really starting to go here. QBTS is actually now at VWAP, so, oops, that's a New York name. We're going to have to get something out now that we're at 96s if we can. I just offered some 96s. There goes. Are we going to get them? I'm at 96, 97. There it is. Well, we're at 96, so there it is. Nice move higher there for QBTS as we just hold. We should have got longer again. I didn't even realize it was at 1050 as we battle on Palantir and we battle with the futures. We didn't even realize that. That was a good reload spot there for sure. Let's see if this quantum name can get going. QBTS. Here, hopefully late. So, yeah, that's about it for me. Just trying to chill out, looking at those names. Shopify's been bad recently. Mara.
Really?
Mara, $12. We'll have to figure out what's going on with Mara down there.
Did it hit 12?
Yeah, it did. It hit 12 a little bit the last
Oh,
week.
no, I meant today. It didn't mean.
No, close enough. Last little week there, 12, 13. I like Mara. We talked about that. We actually talked about going long 14s and then watching to see what happens at 12. Well, you got that opportunity to see what happens at 12, and it was a hold. So nice hold there at 12 for Mara. And I think if you're going to do anything long safe in Bitcoin, I think Mara might be the one, man. I don't think it's that bad down there. So worth a look down at 12 if you can get it. We just took a little bit more out on the futures as we came right back into the 200 period. So looking for some love here on that one. Yeah, Sebastian, trying to have some diamond hands here, but I don't know if that's going to make any sense here. Not much happening. QBTS was a good out up there for sure. But other than that, man, yeah, diamond hands hasn't been working out too well for us. Palantir might be a short, but I don't know. 87 is where the 50 period moving average is, so I'm not trying to get too excited about that play. 1050 getting ready for a call to Adara soon with Money Talks.
Yeah, not quite yet, but just a little bit. Come on, Intel, go. I did not get that break of trend on QBTS. It happened a little bit quickly. This was the candle on the trend break. It was basically, it went like 30 pennies in one shot up there on QBTS. So this little trend break there, by the time it confirmed the move, like you're already chilling at $11. So there was no re-entry for me on that. We're gonna go up to the desk, Money Talks with Adara. It's not VWAP that I'm long on Intel. It's just that prior high. So it's holding the morning range top. You're gonna look for it out in front of 26 again because 26 is resistance. Let's go talk about the strength in the US dollar.
Yeah,
maybe?
Why not?
No strength to speak of here in the US dollar. This is actually looking pretty rough here for the DXY. We broke a 7-day selling streak last week here, pushing higher for Wednesday and Thursday, but Friday was lower. We actually have a bit of a double top situation in this daily chart. Now today we're looking to take out all of the gains that we made over those last 2 positive days. So it's hard to find any strength here in the DXY. In terms of economic catalysts, by far the largest one that we're going to be getting this week is going to come on Wednesday with the FOMC rate decision. We are expecting that there will be no cut. About 99% of participants expecting no change in the rate. So no hike or no cut. Here is, though, actually the odds for May. By May, we now have 24% of participants pricing in a 25 basis point cut and 0.2% of participants actually pricing in a 50 basis point cut. So we're still looking like we're not going to get any cuts for the March meeting, but now participants are starting to price in some potential cuts in May, though again, not significant, less than 50% of participants pricing in a cut. It's also worth noting here, GTC 2025, NVIDIA's conference, this is just more for the market. We'll be getting a keynote from CEO Jensen Huang at 10 a.m. So stay tuned for that tomorrow, about 24 hours from now, guys. Back to you.
Yes, we are very, very excited for Jensen. We're also very, very excited to let you know that we do have e-Signal on lockdown for everybody once again this month. It is your first month free. We are waiving all, well, we are not, e-Signal is waiving that first month fee. So make sure you trade smarter, not harder. Get that elite trading experience with e-Signal. Look, man, infinite data, chart up to 500 symbols at once, connect over 50 plus brokers. Check out the scans that they, again, it's the 500 symbols in the scans that really matters to me. No slowdown, nothing like that. Great technology, great support as well. The back testing, unbelievable. Tick charts, second charts, everything. 1 second charts, right? All for free. If you get that platform, it is e-Signal. It's an all-in-one platform. Do not forget about executing at the peak level, and you can do that using the best charting software around. That is e-Signal. So scan that QR code there below for the signals of E. But we have to figure out one thing first, quickly, because people are waiting and they want to know.
The signals of E.
Yeah, the signals of E. Yeah, it's lunchtime. All right. So this morning, people would be very, very happy to know that we had hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah.
Fresh fruit salad, whole fruit. Yeah, they're just bringing that. You got to like crack it yourself, and you know you got to put that work in there, Mr. Roberts. Whole fruit, pastries, and bagels. Man, they got some nice. Oh, I'm going to put something up on Instagram, I think. I sent it over there to the wife. She wanted to put some behind the scenes up. Oh, there it is right here. Here it is right here. So it is up on Instagram. Join me on Instagram. Hey, what's up, Mr. O'Leary, a cockroach? We'll get that guy in a minute. There it is. So this is what was for breakfast. Here, you see the green pants? We have... there's the hard-boiled eggs that Neil has right there. We've got some pastries, and then as you see what our friend Randy brings through as well, and there's the fruit salad. So go follow me at Trader TV Sean, also on Instagram. But many of you are wondering what's for lunch. I mean, that's the whole point of what we just hit right there. So today's a pretty good one, man. I mean, I'm excited for it. I don't know what's going to be on the salad, but it is jerk chicken. So we'll say what's up to jerk chicken today. Rice and peas, seasonal veggies, and island coleslaw. So that should be really good as well. I'm assuming island coleslaw is more of a vinaigrette based, so we'll see what happens right there. But that is what is a tasty for lunch. So yeah, go find me there on Insta and you can see that. So that was a nice little piece put out there. Thank you to Marisa for that one. All right, QBTS, let's go, man. It is a hot dog kind of a trading day there for QBTS because that's starting to go back upside. Can we get the 200 period moving average? Despite what these futures are trying to do, it's QBTS right now making them sing to that level. We did get a good fill as we were talking about E-signal down there at 62. It doesn't hit me at 80s. That's what we're waiting for. Next fill down here, we're actually waiting at 87. So if we can get that drip, that would be nice. 87s for, you know what, I'm gonna take a 97. There we go, we'll just punch out a little bit right there as we do get this move down. So I'm bidding 87s, hands crossed. There it is. Did we get it? No, we did not. Give me that. Yes, sir. There it is. So a nice little trade there for us on the Qs, trying to get that back into our glory days. Number one stock for me still, well, actually, it's now TQQs. So there it is. So far, so good here. Let's see if we can get downside now on the TQs. NVIDIA and TQs, good. Palantir, very, very bad for me today. So we'd have to, you know, fix that. But so far, so good here. Is the NASDAQ, Neil?
Get the Qs back into the boss
Make
level.
the Qs great again.
You said glory days. Glory days, the boss.
Is that,
It's
Bruce
Springsteen.
Springsteen? Yeah. That's a good one there, man, yeah. Especially born in the USA. You know, we'll have to maybe take some US stocks. Hey, Palantir's a US company.
Oh, what was the one where there was a video and it was like the girl from Friends was dancing?
Oh, Aniston?
No, it was the other one.
Oh, Courtney, yes, she was on stage.
On stage.
Courtney Cox.
What the heck's the name of it? Dancing in the Dark.
Dancing in the Dark.
And she's doing. Did you know that
Thank you,
the Carlton dance was based off of her?
Oh, really? Get down.
So I'm back short in Affirm. Look, we're going to take it. It's almost at VWAP, consolidating at the 44 level. As it's starting to work back in, we're going to short this one for the third time here today. Technically the fourth, although same price. I call it, it's the third time, because this was just a reload at the same price. So we're in it for the third time. Intel, we're able to grab it the first time off of 25.65. That prior high, got some out at like 82, but now it's trending back into VWAP. So if it loses VWAP, I want to be out of that name. And then QBTS, third one, and we have a couple minutes to go. This is not a VWAP trade. It broke that trend line. I'm looking for the hold of that 1080 area. So this was, I didn't get the trend break. I'm going to pull it right back in and then go long off the prior bar high here on QBTS. Yeah, it's one of those days where it should be short more because the market looks weak, but we're back into the one short that worked out best for us. I'm going to make sure that we stick with it. The low of the day is 42, but I'm looking at 43. Pre-market low and all kinds of resistance down there. I want to be covering out in front of that $43. We're short at 43.88 here on, oh wow, Tesla just broke another low again. Yeah, I think the short's going to be just fine. Tesla just went 5% down.
Oh boy,
it's a nasty day overall in terms of reversals. Nvidia just broke low of the day, but I think the shorts are going to start to work. Got to take some profit on the way down though.
Yeah, good. Let's go. That's exactly what we've been doing. We've been taking a lot of profit on the way down here on some of these names. So let's see if we could just sort of keep that vibe going. We do want to get lower. We are at the lows of the day right now. We've just been taking out some levels here. I don't mind these prices at all. If we can get out, then that is great. We do know that there's the ebbs and flows in this market, as we keep on saying, and like I don't take that lightly. Like there is awesome opportunities to get back going. And we talked about this. Congratulations, Obi, again. Like we talk about taking size here, and that's the one thing that we got a lot of respect for Obi last week, putting on some shares and actually going for it. So shout out to Obi there, shorting Intel as we talk about that name. I know Neil mentioned that earlier, so shout out right there, man. It makes a big difference when you're here to trade, and we had a great week. We're glad to have Neil back. Obi last week, Joe last week, absolutely great. Joe did all day twice, so shout out to Joe. All day, baby. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So shout out to those boys who are getting ready for the midday coming up one more time. All right, here we go. The TQs, well, every day, right? Every day midday time. All right, the TQs continue its march a little bit lower. Quantum name, we're light on this now. We have about less than 10%, but more. Let's call it 7%. I don't know. Random fills here, but nice move to the upside there. We would take advantage of that at 11. And again, you got to make money where the money lies, right? I mean, you can't try to force things right there. What we did, though, is we threw our whole day away pretty much trying to force Palantir. And it just, the bids weren't there. The short, we got stopped out of the short as well. It looks like 86.50 is going to be a key level. So when we get back from the gym, we'll have a look quickly at Palantir and figure out what's going on there. But still, 70 handles in the money. Futures looking weak. Hopefully we can break a little bit lower. That'd be nice if that was the case. So that's what we're going to wait for here. And yeah, let's hope for a continued push downside for my positions anyways. Quantum's not really going to follow the market. We only have one trade on that is short the futures. And honestly, we were going long the futures until we broke VWAP. And have that ability to flip up your game. Like we were long. It's going to be the number one name. P&L, it's not even close for me today. It's going to be TQs. And so that was a huge move there. Nice move to the downside right now. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening. But it's QBTS, big one for me. TQ's big one for me. And then NVIDIA. Where our losers lie is Amazon, which thankfully we didn't fight this one because I like the long there, but do not fight it. Get out of the way there. And then Palantir is going to be the big one for an L today. So we'll have to wait for all of that. But yeah, good day right there so far. I don't know. What's your best trade today? Do you have one?
Well,
that's the best.
Affirm's been clean. But I have to say, like, Intel until just now was the cleanest one. It'll be dependent because we're back into it off of VWAP. And at this point, if it loses VWAP, then it's likely to be Affirm. QBTS was pretty clean this morning as well. Otherwise, I gotta still think about Tesla here because that's a big miss for me. So this is a firm trying to bounce off VWAP as we speak. QBTS, we had the one reversion trade when it bounced off the prior high. But it's hard to be happy liking Tesla short and not having a single trade on it today. So, you know, it's at the low of the day. I never found my way into this stock. So I'm pretty disappointed by that. It never broke anywhere near 250 or 252. There wasn't like a clean-ish VWAP trade early. You could have pushed the envelope and just, after the opening range, should have shorted it off the prior day low, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. The best thing I can do now is maybe try to join the trend at lunchtime or maybe a little bit later on. Let's try to be a little bit patient with it. I see DJ Mix is long TSLL, so good luck to you. Mix. I think this has been one of the better movers today, Tesla. Unfortunately, just no executions on it yet. Want to try to get into this at some point, shorting those pops. It is 11 o'clock, which does mean we're supposed to throw to the midday.
Get down.
So
yeah,
it's Sharif the professor
they're born ready.
And the man who does not like pie or cookies. And that is going to be Joey Options. No, I'm just having
I know, it's cookies is okay. It's cake.
No, someone said he didn't like
chocolate
cookies.
chip. No, he doesn't like. He likes oatmeal cookies.
Oh, oatmeal cookies are the best. Okay, no, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
I'm down with that, Joe.
Good.
But you've got to try some key lime pie if you're ever down in Florida, Joe. Trust me, it's life changing. Let's go to the midday. It's learn to trade and learn to eat pastries.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade During the Midday. That is your boy Joey Options, and in addition,